Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 25 and the season 2 premiere of Passion Project, the speedrun and gaming variety show that encourages anyone and everyone in the speedrun and competitive gaming communities to showcase their passions in games. My name is Amber Cyprin, I will be your host tonight, and if you've got a passion and project of your own, submit it to the show, whether that's grinding speedruns, learning and routing new categories, racing through randomizers and bingos, competing at a high level, or breathing new life into a game in unconventional ways. Passion Project is the best place on Twitch to show the world what you love most in speedrunning and gaming. Before we get started with the runs that we have planned for tonight, I do have a couple of announcements. Just a reminder that our annual Juneteenth celebration will be this upcoming weekend, which is starting tomorrow, June 22nd through the 23rd, starting at 1 p.m. Eastern. If I can words, hold on. Use exclamation point Juneteenth in Twitch chat to check out the schedule. And also, GDQ is going to PAX West. If you want to find out more information on that, use exclamation point PAX in the Twitch chat for more information. So, tonight on Passion Project, we're diving into our new theme for Season 2 with inspired indie games, where we're putting a spotlight on the indie games out there that were inspired by fan favorite franchises. Try saying that 4 times fast. If you run a spiritual successor or a game that takes after a well-beloved franchise like the 2 games we have planned for tonight, please head over to gamesdonequick.com/hotfix. You'll find the submission form right there to submit runs to Hotfix shows. Submit your runs to Passion Project. We're featuring tonight UnMetal, a game inspired by the NES Metal Gear games run by the wonderful Nick R.P. Green, and later tonight we'll have Jaxler joining us to run Frogmonster, a game that shows its love for FPS games like Doom and Quake on its sleeve. Right now, I've got Nick and his commentator Metal Glenn Solid with me, and I just wanted to say thank you both for being here tonight, especially you, Nick, as I'm aware it's like 3 a.m. and you've got another event coming up that you're running. How are you doing tonight?
I'm pretty good, thanks. Thank you so much for having me on and letting me showcase UnMetal. I am, as you can tell by my accent, I'm from the UK. So yes, it is 3 a.m. for me, but wouldn't have it any other way. We're speedrunners. We used to being up late, right? Yes, as you said, I have got Metal Glenn Solid here with me to help with commentary.
Hello.
Brief.
All right. It's like we are an awake bunch, aren't we?
My time zone isn't as poor as Nick's, but I do have an early shift tomorrow, so.
Yeah, that's understandable. I appreciate you both
tonight
being
as well.
Here.
But...
Thankfully, this run is just under an hour, so it's going to be short and sweet, and then we can send you off to bed, and then we'll queue up Frogmonster afterwards for folks who want to be degenerate with me and stay up a little longer. But so you were telling me that this game was originally developed for what, the MSX?
Yes, that's correct. So the developer of this game is a guy called Unepic Fran, a Spanish developer, and he has an absolute love for the MSX computer, and all of the games he makes, he tends to make them for the MSX first, and then he'll either port that game and update it ready for a PC or console release. Or in the case of UnMetal, he'll actually completely remake it from scratch. The original game that UnMetal was on the MSX is called Prisoner of War, and it looks and feels completely different. You can see the similarities, but it is a completely different feel. The developer has recently brought out a new game, Pampus and Celine, in the Maze of Demons, and that very much still apes the MSX version of the game. But UnMetal was like the biggest release that he did. It's a very special game. Glenn and I are both been running it since the game was released. We're both moderators for the game on speedrun.com. And it's a lovely homage to Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2 on the MSX. It is a comedy game. It pokes fun at them. Unfortunately, because this is a speedrun and we will be completely skipping all dialogue and cutscenes, you will see very little of that. So it is a game, particularly if you are a Metal Gear fan, it is a game I highly recommend going out and picking up. Glenn?
I could not have said it any better, honestly. You sold it, bud.
Cool.
All right.
I cannot wait for certain chapters and situations, because this game is just... Brand's sense of humor is very good. If you haven't played this casually, it is a recommended playthrough. It's only $20 on Steam, so...
Exactly.
If it's not on sale.
And from the offset, a little plug for the other games in the series, because they appear in the bottom left-hand corner of UnMetal. UnEpic and Ghost 1.0. Across most of Fran's games, if you own previous games in his collection, you'll like unlock little bonuses for these. The only other game in his series I speedrun is called Mini Ghost, which is a fun little game as well. But let's kick off, and we'll talk a little bit more about why UnMetal has become such a passion project for me. We're going to do an any percent hard runs. There's three difficulties in the game: easy, medium, and hard. I'm going to do hard, and the timer will start the moment I select the difficulty. So let's count it down. 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck, have fun.
Woo! The story follows a man, a normal, everyday man, not a mercenary, not an assassin, anything like that. This is Jesse Fox. Jesse Fox has been put in prison for a crime that he didn't commit, and he must escape. Everything that he does in this game is just about him trying to escape. He is not a hero. He's not trying to bring down the regime or anything. Everything that happens completely by accident. He's just the wrong man in the right place at the right time. We are already coming up to our first trick of the run, which we're going to be using a lot. This is called a save scum. By loading a quick save like that, I completely rendered the alert that I had defunct. It stopped. We use quick loading to restore health, among other things. It's a really useful trick that we'll be using quite a lot throughout the run. Luckily, it doesn't affect the speedrun timer. You'll notice in the bottom right corner of the screen there is a timer on screen. Fran absolutely loves speedrunning, and every game that he's done, he incorporates speedrunning into it. In fact, his latest game, Pampas in the Maze of Demons, myself and Glenn were both QA testers for the game. We are credited, and I wrote the auto splitter for Pampas and Celine, so I'm also credited as a speedrun consultant for the game, which is really nice.
I love when devs work closely with the speedrun community to ensure like a good speedrun experience while also not compromising the casual experience of the game.
Absolutely, we had a lot of feedback for him, specifically for Pampas and Celine. The other speedrun consultant is a runner named Plywood, and he had a lot of feedback and help for creating the speedrun for that game as well. And it's so nice that Fran is so open to talking to speedrunners and making the game work ahead of the game's official release. So we've got our first weapon. This is the depleted uranium balls, along with a good old fancy catapult. It's a very rudimentary weapon, but it works.
Pretty childish, though.
Exactly.
You know, that you'll notice the way that we acquired our slingshot here is by combining items, which is a nice feature of the game that you have to use throughout the game in order to progress here. So in this case, it was Jesse stole the eye patch of a one-eyed guard for reasons. And, you know, he used the eye patch to create his deadly weapon of choice. Ooh. But Jesse's not an assassin. He's not actually, hopefully, going to kill anyone. And this is the almighty boss of Chapter 1, and mostly the whole game. This is Grenade Guy. In the meme version of the patch notes that were provided to us a while back by Jack Lafear, Grenade Guy always got a life update or a lore update. And that was really fun.
Yeah,
6 hits with the balls, he goes down, you get yourself a hook.
Grenade Guy became quite a meme for us when the game first came out. And this is going to be the end of chapter 1. The game is split into 10 chapters. One of the lovely things about speedrunning UnMetal, for anyone who likes taking breaks during a run, the in-game timer pauses when you're at the end of a chapter. So right now we could chill out for 5 minutes if we really wanted to, and it wouldn't affect our overall time. Obviously, we're not going to do that. We do get individual times for every single chapter. It'd be really cool if I could beat one of these during the run. But we'll see what happens. Moving on to chapter 2, something stinks really bad, and we go into the sewers.
Where we get this free severed arm.
Yes, the severed arm. Jesse dips the severed arm into the sewer water. It immediately disintegrates, and that tells him that sewer water bad. Next up, we have Sergeant Roscoe. We can't hit him with our slingshot, so instead we're going to punch a globe at him. If I can get it lined up correctly. There we go.
Yeah.
Start grabbing some health packs. Ooh, not quite in the right place for that shot. There we go. That's better.
So typically I don't dabble in hard too much. So on the lower difficulties, he stays down longer. So what I like to do in this boss fight is you can actually punch the globe horizontally. So I will punch it against the wall to recenter it as needed, and that makes this fight a little bit easier. And we get this really cool gem for every boss we defeat.
Also, we have Jack Lafere in chat with tonight's patch note. Grenade Guy wrote a journal entry about his time in Japan, looking at the cherry blossoms. He smiled.
Thanks, Jack. Jack Lafere is the game's community manager and Fran's creative assistant. It's an absolutely great guy. I just did a load there. Quick loading like that can sometimes really help us out. In that case, it stopped those two piranha monsters that came up. It prevented them from spawning too quickly. We've now got our first major skip of the run. This is called Dog Skip. So there's a dog there. We're going to lure the dog over to the edge of the screen. And now I'm going to roll past him. Roll one more time. There we go.
Ooh, nice.
That was a really good dog skip.
That was good.
So the game wants you to do there. Take this guy out because I need his radio. What the game wants you to do there is you should take a left turn, go through about 4 screens, and grab a big chunk of meat, and then you throw the meat on the floor. The dog goes and eats the meat, and you can get past him. If you just ran into the dog, then the dog would attack you and very quickly kill you. You'll see a bit more of that attack in just a second, because we're going to have to do the dog skip on the way back as well. Quick load that to get more of my health back. So here's the dog attacking again. Roll 1, 3.
The attack. It should be okay here. Okay. We did grab ourselves a secret for some health.
Oh my goodness.
There we go.
Nice.
So quick, did have to heal there. That was not a great dog skip on the way back, if I'm honest. You should be able to get through that without having to use that health pack, but that's okay.
It happens.
So yeah, that trick was found pretty early on in the game's life cycle. Ow.
Oh no.
Why are you two here? There we go.
They spawned.
They did spawn. They spawned a lot earlier than I was expecting.
That was strange. Oh well.
I think that's because I didn't quick load, because I wasn't bleeding out.
Yeah. You know what? Now that you mention it, that's probably it. I don't think I've ever seen before.
I think I'm gonna be okay. So whenever you take that, I'm gonna have to heal here.
I was gonna say you're not gonna make it.
So whenever you take damage, you will slowly bleed out, and whenever that happens, that sort of gives us the cue to quickly get to the next load. I should be fine with that one. I've got the next load is on the next screen.
It's on the next screen. Yeah, you're fine.
We do have a bit of a comedy moment here. None. In fact, just going to do that quick load. And now I am an acorn. And this is one of the things that with the speedrun, you kind of, because you lose the dialogue, you completely lose some of the comedic moments and why they make sense. So Jesse is telling the story of what happened to him to his girlfriend. And at that moment in time, his girlfriend says, "Oh, it must have been really lonely down there. Well, then there not any rats or anything." And you get given 2 options. Your options are none or a lot. Now, if you say there were a lot of rats, that kind of suggests to the player that, oh, I'm going to have to deal with a lot of rats if I say a lot. So I'll say none, and I don't have to deal with any rats. And so Jesse says, no, there weren't any rats, but there were some carnivorous man-eating squirrels. I felt like a nut. And so the game literally turns Jesse into a nut. If you do say a lot of rats, he says, yes, there were a lot of rats. I felt like a piece of cheese. And that section is done as a giant block of cheese instead.
Yakety sax never gets old. Like, I don't care how many times I've played this chapter, it's still funny to me.
It is hilarious.
We have our wonderful flamethrower here. As the main suggests up here, there's a red bar. If that red bar ever gets full, the thing will explode and Jesse will die. Naturally, we don't want that. Yeah, well, that's kind of what happens when you repair it with a plastic drum and some gasoline. I'm surprised it even works, but, you know, video game logic. So yeah, we're going to just use it to break these stacks of tires and to remove some of the squirrels from chasing us here, which hopefully not too many of them will be biting at our ankles while they are maybe not so cute and cuddly, but they are cuddly for you anyway. Obviously, the more of them that come, the more they will just stack up and damage you. So we can just leave for a secret and they all just disappear. It's great. So there are a number of secrets throughout each and every level. Getting all the secrets will yield well, not all the secrets, but if you get all the experience and all the secrets, you'll get what's called a perfect on each level. There is a separate category for that. There's also a bunch of hidden achievements for you to find. That will give you an unperfect achievement, which is doing the perfect and then doing all the hidden achievements, which is fun. So this is sewer junk. We were lonely down here, but now we had some company, and though it's got tentacles, you have 2, 4, and 6. I won't spoil what the other 2 options are. Let's just say that 6 is better for our well-being. And the squirrels and or rats, depending on your option, will still come and get you. And sewer junk is just within. I did not know you could hit him from there. Okay, cool. That is good for me to know when I inevitably come back to this. So yeah, on easy specifically, you wouldn't have to deal with the rodents here. But sewer junk is pretty much the same otherwise, and I think we're trying to set up a skip here.
Yes.
Hopefully. I think that's too much.
No, that should be just about right.
Oh, that is just enough. Okay, cool.
No, couldn't get enough damage.
Didn't get enough damage in. So if you set his health up to the point where he would come up one more time like that, you could, in theory, just beat sewer junk with the flamethrower and be done with it. But part of the story, the lower sewer junk's health gets is the flamethrower breaks apart, or you could pick exploded if you want to do the fight again. And that is chapter 2. Easy peasy.
Well, out of the sewers.
So there is one little piece of tech that we didn't explain, Nick, and it's sprinting. Yes,
Jesse has a few different movement speeds in the game. The fastest movement speed is after I hit level 2 for the first time. My first upgrade was sprint, which makes Jesse faster. Obviously, it's what we would take in speedrunning. The only time I ever didn't take sprint was my first ever casual playthrough, because every level upgrade is the same. You get the choice of 2, and the first time I ever played the game, knowing I was going to be speedrunning it, I saw sprint. I was like, well, I'm going to take that every single time I speedrun this. I'm going to take the other one just for the first time, just to see what it is.
So the difference in sprinting, you may have noticed before we hit level 2, we were rolling on every screen. While there are no enemies on the screen, Jesse runs 50% faster. while there are enemies on the screen, I think it's 33. So while there are enemies on the screen, we are still going to be rolling as it is still slightly faster. So like in the med bay there, it's faster to roll because the game knows that those are enemies. Little fun fact, if you have the creator pack for UnMetal, there are codes you can input in the options menus. And you can get different voices in that room between various streamers. Some names you may know, Apache Smash is one. I think the Mexican runner is in there.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
that
man,
was
weird.
That was, yeah.
He saw your fist and went, "Oh no!"
Yeah.
I'm scared of the fist.
If you've ever
Better lock all the doors.
If you've ever seen a Metal Gear speedrun, you may know that in Metal Gear runs, alerts are kind of ignored completely. No one really cares about alerts in Metal Gear runs. You just kind of deal with them. UnMetal, you can't. If you get an alert, it is really, really detrimental. Every single door in the level will lock until the alert expires, and you will get waves and waves of guards. So unless there is a specific speedrunning alert that we want, and there will be a couple, we completely avoid them. So as soon as I got that alert, that I had to load and redo that room. The guards, the guard patrols in the game are completely random. Well, sorry, I say completely random. They have their own patrol routes, which aren't random, but their starting positions every time are random. So it's not like you can just map out exactly how you're going to tackle every room in advance. Every time you enter a room with guards, you have to be able to think on the fly. How am I going to deal with this room? How am I going to take these guards out? Do I want their XP? We do have a minimum level of XP to get throughout the run. This is Megatron, so I'm going to concentrate on this fight.
Yeah, he's a giant drone. He's going to drop cargo freights on us, and Nick is going to use the pistol he just got. He's going to try and unload as many bullets as he can, but I think comfortably it's going to be 5 or 6 here on hard. On easy, you could get away with 8 or 9 pretty easily and beat this boss in 2 cycles, but that's okay. But it's just going to drop wherever Jesse lands, and he just happens to be there. So we want to methodically...
I'm okay, I've got 1 shot left.
He's got 1 health. Yeah, you're good. I wasn't looking at the health bar.
I also was like,
good.
oh no.
That was
magic
close.
I wasn't looking at the health bar, and I looked up and went, oh no, he's good.
Just to be clear, yeah, I'm trying to reload. I had no more ammo. That was exactly...
That was literally last bullet. Oh man.
That was fun.
That's kind of scary. So yeah, 10 bullet magazine. You kind of have to watch your ammo count
now
on Megatron.
Amber, were you any good at science at school?
I was okay at it. I was always intrigued by it. I feel like I'm about to be tested.
How do you make chloroform? Is it 1 part chlora and 1 part form?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, that's how we make chloroform. 1 part chlor, 1 part form creates chloroform. There are 2 other substances in that room, water and sodium. Glenn, what does water plus sodium make?
Boom.
Explosion, for some reason. There is an achievement in the game for dying whilst messing with items in your inventory, and that is in that room. If you collect the water and sodium, put those together, you explode. Which is as it's an achievement in the game, it is a requirement for the all achievements speedrun, which is another run I do as well. It's a lot of fun. We now have the thermal suits. We're about to move into a set of rooms with some laser grids. And the laser grids here are a really good example of how the difficulties differ throughout the game. On easy, you can see where these laser grids are pointing at all times. They don't move, they're static. They kind of have a 45-degree cone around the room.
Yep. As long as you're wearing the suit, yeah, you can see it.
On easy, you can see it at any time. On medium, you can see it as long as you wear the suit. On hard, you can't see it at all. And there are cameras later in the game which kind of do the same thing. That wasn't the case when the game was released, though. So one
true.
funny perk about the way Fran makes games, when he makes a game for the MSX, there's usually no difficulty settings. The MSX is a very old and low memory computer. I get a choice in this room. I pick DTC, which is detectors. Adds 2 more detectors to the room, which is quicker. GRD would have added more guards, which is slower, but it's not too bad.
3 of them, I believe. Yeah.
And SHP is exactly what it sounds like. It would have spawned 100 sheep into the room, which Jesse would have had to very slowly wade through. We're going back to...
It's very funny, though.
We do now have an intended warp. I used the chloroform on myself, and this is that's the chloroform warp. That was a fully intended warp by the developer, but Fran did not realize how useful that was going to be for speedrunning. We just skipped a massive backtracking section, which is really nice. Fran always makes his games on the hardest difficulty first, and then tones them down. And then across about 4 or 5 patches, tones them down further, because he always goes way too hard. So yeah, patch 1 for this on easy is no joke. We now have Lieutenant Marcuson.
He's a real nice guy.
That was a bad time to reload.
So anyway, so the way the story progresses, the doctor is annoyed at Jesse for creating a bunch of extra work for her because he keeps punching guards and sending them to her office. So she called him at some point in the story to say, "Hey, can you find a non-lethal way or a non-violent way to sneak around here?" And he's like, "Yeah, cool," because Jesse got the hots, basically. So he does. That's why we get the chloroform.
As I said,
and that's chapter 3.
As I said right at the start of the game, Jesse's no hero, he's no assassin, he's no mercenary, and he has a rule that he will not kill anyone. So throughout that fight, I had to, every single guard that I shot, including the boss, I then had to heal them afterwards. If any guards ever bleed out, game over. No one is allowed to die.
Game over, you killed someone, please fix.
So we can now use the chloroform handkerchief for some silent takedowns. Grab this stamina, and that is perfect XP. I'm going to hit level 4 on the next guard. Again, another choice,
exactly
more dogs. I'm going to get attacked by those dogs, so I'll just do a quick load. Now we have the biggest skip of the game. I'll let you explain, Glenn. Oh, I got a level up.
So there's a few minefields here. And the way the game introduces you to him in the back here, a prisoner has escaped, and the 2 guards are like, "Hey, how high?" And then he explodes and dies, which is that crater in the first room there. The way the game works, the minefield is predetermined when you launch the game. So if you've already completed the game, you can load chapter 4, figure out the pattern of the mines, and then finish the level. Go back, start the game over, and it will be the same every single time.
Yep.
That's Stanley. Say hi to Stanley, chat. And so Jesse's lost. He comes across this corpse, and he needs to wander around the woods, figure out his way out. And he keeps coming across Stanley here. 3 separate times he comes across Stanley over here. And each and every time Jesse comes across Stanley, and this is why Jesse's a lovable idiot, he thinks it's been a different person who's been killed in this spot. So he's like, "Oh, this forest is dangerous. People keep dying out here."
Jesse doesn't realize that he's running round and round in circles.
No, he does not. We do. The game only expects you to do about a half circle before you can go back to Stanley and progress. So from Stanley, we would get the compass and a needle from a bird with other mechanics that the game would need you to do. You can play the game and figure that out yourself. And then it would tell you which way to go. The pattern for the compass is also the same every single time, so we don't need to grab the compass at all and just run through the forest. So Nick's got his Rolling Thunder, so while there are enemies on the screen, Rolling Thunder lets us roll more frequently. So we can roll more, and therefore we're a little bit faster. We can punch this tree, grab ourselves another secret. And there's the teleporting drill sergeant over here. Just to put him briefly, the drill sergeant is literally one big Full Metal Jacket reference. Yes, it's exactly the character you're thinking of. And that's chapter 4. We've escaped from the base, right?
Unfortunately not. The truck that the truck that Jesse got into was going back into the base, and now
crap.
Now we get a very important trick. I talked about alerts and how they close every door. If you get spotted by a guard and then move off screen, I got shot. That's okay. And move off screen before they manage to call on the radio, you'll still get an alert. Well, you'll get an evasion, but they won't call in the alert. It doesn't lock any of the doors, and we're completely fine. It's okay. Okay.
So just kind of to put it into MGS terms, the red alerts would be alerts. The yellow exclamation points would be equivalent to an evasion, and then the question mark you see on screen here is more of a caution. So we got our nice saving grace for the speed run on all levels. The bulletproof vest. At random points, it will just protect Jesse from damage of bullets. It is mostly random. This is Machine Mike. And as his name would imply, he's got this big machine gun here. And it's very fast on hard. On easy, it's a little bit easier. So at least the sandbags here will spawn some grenades for us, so we can get some more on them. Let's see what we got here. Okay, that's 2. Sandbags will not last very long. And he tried to juke us there. You destroyed my machine gun, and he runs away. He's very sad that we blew up his machine gun. That's fine.
So sad that he's going to run back into
and now he's back. He's now Splash Mike for some reason, and now he's got a tank. Want to fight about it? Yes, I do. So we've got a rocket launcher now. Or I think the game calls it bazooka. I don't remember, but I think it's just rocket launcher. And oh look, he's got his machine gun back on the tank. So we're just going to run around and we're going to hit specifically the back of the tank, because everyone knows that tanks are weak from the back, right, Nick?
Exactly.
Yes,
science checks out.
It's common knowledge. I think everybody knows that. So yeah, Splash Mike is going to, shoot rockets at us. And the good thing about the bleed out state is you can't actually bleed out in a boss fight. At least on easy you can. I don't remember if you can on hard.
I think so.
Boss defeated.
It's not worth trying. So, yeah. That's Splash Mike. He's a lot of fun.
That is a rough fight on a lot of rooting in that fight. To know exactly which blocks to throw grenades at to get more ammo and just try and speed up the fight. So just waiting for the game to progress. There we go. One of the things that's really nice about the game is the pacing. After a really hectic stage 5, we now get a bit of a chillaxed stage 6. We come across these engineers. The engineers have these little control units. I don't know why it takes 3 control units to control that buzzsaw there, but we just didn't want to roll past it. Remember, Jesse is not allowed to kill anyone. So we do have to go and heal each of these engineers. Throw a grenade at those 2 boxes. We're going to have another room of these. Throw one at that guy. Grab some more first aid kits. Throw one at that guy. And one at that guy. Wait for the buzzsaw. That is an instant kill if you get hit by that buzzsaw. And heal that guy. Okay, that's a lovely,
for the sake of
lovely bit of free XP from those guards as well, which is those engineers, which is really nice.
Name that musical reference. Yeah, for the sake of Jesse's storytelling simplicity, since he is telling the story to his girlfriend about him telling the story to a lieutenant in the military. Yes, it gets very convoluted.
I did not mean to throw that grenade.
A nice recycle bin. That recycle bin's actually really nice because it actually gets rid of all the items you will not need for the rest of the game.
Yeah, Jesse's inventory...
It clears up a lot of inventory.
Jesse's inventory is not big enough to handle every single item in the game. It wouldn't be a problem in a speedrun because there's so many items that we avoid. In a casual playthrough, you would not have enough inventory space without that recycling bin. So now I have this nice little submarine section. The submarine handles really nicely. You usually think of your Sonics and your Marios, and you think of the underwater levels, and they're really horrible, and everyone hates them. But the submarine handles really nicely. I actually really like this section. The mines are an instant kill if I touch them, so I'm not going to touch them. We picked up some missiles. We can now shoot some of the mines, which we need to do to progress.
We love torpedoes.
There we go.
This is probably one of my more favorite water levels in a game. It's there because, every level, every game has a water level, but it's short enough to where it doesn't feel like it overstayed its welcome.
Yeah, it's only...
I really like this one.
Only a couple more screens, and then we do have an underwater boss as well, and it's a really neat boss.
The sub looks like it has some weight to it underwater too.
It does, yeah. As I go up here, and I then try and stop and pull back, it still moves around. So when you let go, it still... Oh, I have to go back. I should have shot that one as well.
If I remember correctly, I think Jesse's excuse for it handling poorly was because it was an American submarine. This was something I had issues with the first patch. Was I felt like, and I quote, the submarine's defenses feel like it's made of wet paper, and that was on easy, which is still pretty much how it is on hard, and that's how I would have expected it to be anyway. So this is Huge Eel, the Unagi. He's not an eel, and what he's going to do is just kind of follow us around, and when he gets close enough, he's going to open his mouth, and we want to just fire a torpedo in there, as you do. Down we go.
Whoever designed the art for the damaged sprite, by the way, when the...
It's funny.
It's so
good.
The
defeated sprite. It's so good as well.
Whoever designed the sprites for Huge Eel, shout outs to them.
There was a bug at one point where if you stuck around after the fight long enough, Huge Eel's dead body would just roll across the top of the screen. Oh my god,
I remember that now.
For some bizarre reason.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, you just sit there for like a minute, and then all of a sudden this eel would just roll across the top of the screen. It was a sad day when Frank patched that out. I loved it.
It was funny.
It was so good. That was chapter 7. I said about the pacing that we had a nice calm level. We now go into one of the hardest levels, certainly the hardest boss of the game. So this is Boondocks. It is no joke. I do need
But we're getting rich.
We are getting rich. I'm finding lots and lots of money. I am going to...
wait, we've never used money yet.
I'm going to quickly run in
obviously,
here.
We're going to use it at some point.
Here and save it, just to be on the safe side.
Take our safety save in the water closet.
Yes, save it. In this game, saving is done by going to the toilet. And we also pick up potties along the way. You saw I picked up another potty. And those are portable toilets, so that you can make quick saves anytime. I'm going to punch that there, bring these two guards over. Sometimes the guards can do this, where they immediately call in an alert. I might load that save.
He was not very nice, yeah.
I might load in that save.
I love when they spawn on the top of the screen here, because they literally can't do anything from there.
Oh, that gunshot's alerted these. See, that's fine. They'll come down, and I'll just...
That actually works out.
Yeah, that was really nice. Sometimes you can just set out an alert like that. It's not too bad. In that situation, if you can get off screen and just stand next to the edge of the screen, then it's fine. We buy a boat.
I'm buying that boat.
We buy a boat, and the boat gets struck by lightning.
It's gone.
And so the game continues.
Immediately.
Jesse.
That was our escape route that we gave up our retirement for.
grab a...
Oh, and conveniently, they broke that box for us, so that actually works out too.
Indeed. Gonna grab
Saves a couple more
grenade from
seconds.
here.
Extra grenade, yeah.
Safety save.
I'm gonna throw a grenade, break those 3 at once, and that's gonna get us an alert, which is fine, but we're gonna shoot a rocket into the next screen.
Ooh, I was a bit slow
get
on
it off?
shooting the rocket.
Yeah, we didn't get it off. Okay, that's fine. So yes, this is literally a nuclear submarine. Take that, Solid Snake, I guess. It's gonna shoot a lot of missiles at us, and thankfully they're not nuclear equipped at this point, which is
But that was going in.
This
going
is
into
not
that,
the easiest boss fight, so
going into that fight was not great anyway. There we go. That's the extra shot. So by firing an extra shot just before moving into the room, it lands immediately, and that's what I really wanted. Really should have done to start off with. So this should be a little bit better now. Those 3 boxes. There we go. This is already better.
yeah, there we go. That's way better.
Okay, I was about to ask, are you not able to touch the trail left by the missiles? And the answer is absolutely not. Don't do it.
Hot, 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 hot. Nope, we do not want to touch those. Yeah, this is probably the harder boss.
This is the hardest boss. This is the hardest boss in the game. Got it.
Nice.
And of course, we celebrate.
Boss defeated.
Lovely.
All right. So we're that's the big baddie. He's calling us to say, "Hey, we know where you're at now because he took the colonel and therefore took his radio." It sucks.
And as
Poor
if
Colonel Harris.
As if the hardest boss in the game wasn't enough, we do have a second boss in this level as well. Black Thunder. It's a helicopter. Whilst we shoot it from a boat, which is a nice little fight.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna concentrate on this fight. Black Thunder's movements here are not random. It always moves in exactly the same position. What is random is the layout of the river. So how it meanders, I have to deal with and try and hit. One it was it had 1 health left. 1 health.
It's so close. Sometimes
That's
it's
odd.
like that, though.
There's supposed to be a save when you pick when you choose the boat.
Yeah, I did
There's a
notice
save,
that.
but it hasn't saved. Fun. Okay.
It's like I thought the save was supposed to be
yeah,
right at the boat.
The save is supposed to happen the moment you get in the boat, and it hasn't. There we go. There it is.
goes.
There's the save.
I'm wondering if you tried to use the gasoline on the same frame,
Maybe.
and it just said nah.
Chalk that one up as that's never happened before.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen it.
Oh, it's a very long.
Ooh.
Oh!
Just
It's tricky sometimes
just
trying to do
There we
both.
go. And now we can get
Like-
straight back into the fight.
Yep.
This level in general seems brutal between the 2 boss fights.
Oh, absolutely.
It does not let up.
You do get a choice of boat. There is also a hovercraft available. Oh, that was a much nicer river bit. Oh no!
Oh!
It's not giving me any leeway. This is horrible. Come on, Black Thunder.
Shout out
be
to
nice.
Jack LaFear in chat, realizing what is happening, going, oh, someone should patch that, I guess.
10 point or 1.0.14 coming out soon, TM.
All right, this is it. This is the one. I feel it.
I just don't like how narrow this river is on hard. Oh, there we go.
Boss defeated.
Wonderful. Okay.
So now after a very, very hectic level, again, we are rewarded with a nice, calm, chilled level. 1,000 eyes are watching you. So this level introduces security cameras, and Jesse has told his girlfriend that he was super stealthy. He was like the master of stealth. Solid Snake, Sam Fisher, eat your hearts out. Jesse Fox is the master of stealth. We're going to do a load here. That load resets the positions of every camera in the building ahead of us, and means that I'm going to get perfect cycles for getting around them. This chapter used to be... every runner used to hate this chapter because of how slow it was, but then I discovered that load, and it just made it an absolute breeze. Works on every single difficulty. As I say, you'll barely see me have to wait around for cameras moving in this. Again, if you run this game on easy, you do get a cone to show where the camera's looking at. If you run the game on normal, medium, you can only see the camera cones if you're wearing a pair of sunglasses. Don't know why that works. I didn't write the game, but that is why that works. Special lenses, that works. Set that camera there, immediately pointing to the left so I can get around it, and that was really nice. Through here. We made some scarecrows or scare guards. We're going to use those to trick the cameras. Thanks, guard. That guard...
and we've lost our cycle too, unfortunately.
That guard will randomly turn and look at you. Sometimes he does it, sometimes he doesn't. If he does, then I have to load, and we get slightly slower cycles. I can just drag him over here. So as I drag him, drop one of these scare guards, because if the camera looks over and sees that the guard has left his post, that's an alert. But the cameras are not very clever. So they just think, oh, that's a guard. Yeah, doesn't matter that he's made of bamboo.
It's a clone of Mike.
Yeah.
And for simplicity, all the guards are Mike.
Yes, every guard in the game is called Mike.
The engineers, for the record, were Leonards. Because Mike doesn't suit engineers. Oh!
Yeah, just got clipped by that camera.
Just barely. And I think now that you're coming this way, it turns this way as well.
Yeah, unfortunately, the cycles on the way back are now a little slower as well.
Oh, well.
There we go. So we now picked up a new weapon, the electromagnetic grenades. They disable cameras. They also disable robots. We're not going to see that many robots in the game. Just one big robot towards the end.
Mm-hmm. You don't want to see the other robots.
You don't want to see the other robots.
Trust me.
On this difficulty.
Not on hard. On easy,
maybe.
We could talk about it. On hard, I would not recommend that.
Now we have a puzzle boss. Fran really wanted to put in a boss. This kind of, there's a bit of Monkey Island logic to this boss. So we want to get into that building. So we pick up a pizza, look at the pizza to determine that this pizza is a pepperoni pizza, or it needed to wait for that camera to start moving before I threw that electromagnetic. There we go. So we determine that this is a discarded pepperoni pizza. We're going to spray it with a fire extinguisher to make it look like it's a nice, fresh, steaming pizza. And now we're going to tell the guard on the other side of the door that we've got a nice pepperoni pizza to deliver him. And that's how we get into the base.
We never claimed that Mike was smart.
We move on to the penultimate and longest chapter in the game. This chapter throws absolutely loads of stuff at you. We cut the alarm's wires, so now if I get spotted, I'm not going to get an alert. I get a choice of which type of guards I want to have to deal with, either Scandinavian guards or exterminator guards. This is what we're talking about with the robots and not wanting to deal with them. Exterminator guards on this difficulty are horrible. You can't punch them. They are robots. You have to take them out with grenades or with rockets, disable them with electromagnetic grenades. The Scandinavian guards are just really, really beefy guards. They will still shoot you, but they don't get taken out with 3 punches. They just take it. If you punch one of them, they won't get stunned. They'll just turn around and look at you. And I now need to get to the elevator without getting... Oh, that's a lot of guards in one place. Roll, Jesse. Roll like you've never rolled before.
The bulletproof vest just saved us there, I think.
Put in some work.
And that's why we pick it up.
That's fine. We've got a save here.
That kind of stuff is why we pick it up, and because we were losing health, we can save scum it and get full health, which is nice.
Jesse meets up with some scientists, accidentally shoots one of them. He fires a warning shot to scare him over to the side. The bullet ricochets around the room and caps the guy in the leg.
Oops.
So I'm going to do a quick safety save here, because we're coming up to another skip. This is the red room skip, which I can do with concentrate on, so I'll let Glenn explain it.
So the red room skip is actually quite literal. The entire room is red. It is red because it's full of radiation, and that guard or that scientist there is like, "Oh, you're not going in there without a radiation suit, are you?" He goes, "Yeah, I am now." And we said, "Okay, hold my beverage of choice." And they're the spider guards. They can see 360 degrees, and they will shoot lasers at you. But the bulletproof vest can still protect you, but it's not as recommended. And then there's one more in this room, and if you get that blood bag, you can actually make it all the way through here without picking up the radiation suit and save yourself a minute or two, maybe a little more than that. And we've got some more cameras here.
Whenever you heal with a health kit, it doesn't give you a flat amount of health back. Instead, it heals you slowly over time. The blood bag is the exception. The moment you use the blood bag, and it's a one-time only use item. There's only one in the game. Once you use it, it immediately fills you to full health. So that's how we can get through the red room. I don't know if you noticed how much health I was actually really, really close to death when I used that blood bag. Oh, these guards are in a funky position. Take both of them out, that's nice.
We're okay with this. We're good on XP.
I need 1 XP to hit level 6. And level 6 is the absolute minimum you need to hit in an any percent run. If you're doing a perfect run, you're getting perfect XP, you will go all the way to level 10, because you have to. But in an any percent run, you should be hitting level 6 before the next boss fight, which is fine, we will do that.
Yep, we only need one more, and we could get, what, 4 or 5 between now and then? So, it's plenty.
We're going to head up to the roof. There's a funny little cutscene here. We skip where Jesse just pretends to be a colonel, and a bunch of guards are being lazy and on a break, and he just tells them to go away. But by putting on his big boy voice, pretending to be authority, he asserts his authority. Up here on the roof, there's a helicopter. We have a new method of escape. We're going to escape in a helicopter. But there is a sensor array that will shoot missiles at us. So we need to disable that sensor array. There is a puzzle with it, and there are instructions. There's the helicopter we're going to escape in. There are instructions. We don't need the instructions. The puzzle is always the same every time. So it's another, just remember it, and you'll be fine. I'm going to quickly craft some metal wires with clamps, go up to the sensor array, and it's left, right, middle, left, and then cut the same order, left, right, middle. Get any of that sequence incorrect, and it explodes and you die.
All right, we're out of here.
Yep, gonna get in the helicopter.
Later, suckers.
Get in the helicopter and escape, and that will be the gear. The helicopter hasn't got any keys. Okay, let's go find the helicopter's keys.
I don't know what's wrong with these people. I leave mine in my helicopter all the time, and it's fine.
Like, who's gonna steal a helicopter?
Someone named Jesse Fox.
Fair point.
Apparently.
So I'm going to meet a new set of guards. These are the Japanese guards. They are very weak. They go down in 1 hit. Oh, there's level 6. We're going to take Lethal Weapon. Two mentions of action movies there. One of those upgrades was called Lethal Weapon, and the other one was called Die Hard.
Die Hard. It's great.
Take that guy out. Oh, this has been a really nice room. Particularly as
this was very kind.
Particularly as I did not safety potty before that room, which I really should have done. Take that guy out. I
was like, Nick didn't safety.
Will safety potty here. Oh, this does not look.
I don't like
this
that.
Does
yeah,
not look
and
nice.
the unfortunate thing with the Japanese mics here, they are instant alerts.
Yeah, they don't need to call.
You only have a few frames before you can actually.
They don't have to call in with the radio. So yeah, very, very...
They all just know, they communicate telepathically or something. I don't know.
Next boss, don't blink.
Takuma Takagashi.
And he's dead.
And it's over.
And we do a...
And so is the jingle there.
We do a quick load. We do a quick load there. That skip is called the Heidi load. For some reason, Takuma Takashi is the only boss in the game where the moment you beat him, the game saves. So we can load the game instantly, and it will skip the jingle. It's called the Heidi load. My wife, Heidi Hi 300, she didn't discover it. I discovered it, but I discovered it whilst I was teaching her how to speedrun the game. She fought Takuma, and I noticed the save, and I was like, "Hang on, can you just load the game?" And she did, and it skipped the jingle. I was like, "That's cool. We're calling that the Heidi load."
That's great.
My wife has a skip in this game named after her, and I don't.
The irony.
I'll take my Metal Gear Solid 1 skip instead. We'll grab some night vision goggles in here, so that we can go down to the labyrinth. Folks, we've already mentioned there's a lovely guy in chat, Jack Lafayette, the game's community and creative assistant, who'd like to hear Jack in game. Here he is.
Welcome to
Me.
Thanks. Who are you?
He's Jack Lafayette.
I'm
true.
the Lord of the Labyrinth.
But we will now skip the rest of the dialogue. Yes, Jack makes a cameo as the Lord of the Labyrinth in the game, which is really nice. Again, another... Reload, Jesse. There we go. Another sort of maze and puzzle. There is a map that we actually got a map from the engineer outside Takuma Takashi's boss room. Again,
The homie, Maintenance Mike.
Maintenance Mike. The map is always the same. If I go the wrong way in here, I'll fall through the floor. There'll be a gap in the floor that opens up and swallows Jesse. But luckily, again, we know which way we're going. We just have to make sure we don't get hit by any of these ghosts. I could do with getting hit by one ghost just to lose a little bit of health so I can heal. We are moving through the labyrinth quite nicely. Now, of course, the show that we're on is called Passion Project, and for me, UnMetal is more than just a speedrun. I've been playing this and running it ever since the game came out. I wasn't hugely into it at first, but over time, it just grabbed me, and... Oh, I have ran out of ammo.
Uh-oh.
Let's just quickly break that. There should be some ammo in there. Thank you.
Yeah, there we go. Okay. I was like, oh.
That was a little worrying. There we go.
We're good now.
There we go. And we're through.
There we go.
So yeah, I've been speedrunning this game ever since it came out. It's just grown and flourished. It's the first game I've ever made a wiki for. There's a wiki available for all of the games in the UnEpic Games catalog. Most of the games on the wiki aren't very fleshed out. UnMetal absolutely is. I've put so much work into building the wiki for it. The first time I ever ran this at a live event, I went to Insomnia in the UK, ran it for UKSM, and I was dressed as Jesse Fox. I do have a Jesse Fox cosplay. I would have worn it for this event, but it is roasting hot in the UK at the moment.
It is very warm here in the States too.
I did not fancy like dehydrating during a hotfix run. That sounded like a really bad idea. Oh,
It was 92 today, and it's the coolest it's going to be for like a week.
science time again. We make C3 by getting 4 lots of C1 and putting them all together.
That doesn't sound like science. It sounds like maths.
We stick that time bomb. Stick the time
I guess
bomb
they go
on
hand
there.
in hand, so it is what it is. But
Meet General
yeah, I
X
guess it's cool.
Believe in God, General.
and
Doctor.
make our way out. We
Also,
get a-
really quick, is that wiki on MetalGearSpeedrunners.com?
No, it is the UnEpic Games speedrun wiki. I think it's a fandom wiki. I can't remember the URL off the top of my head, but yeah, if you search for UnEpic Game Speedrun Wiki on Google, you'll find it. So yeah, it's we're starting to flesh it out for Pampas and Celine. But it's got loads of stuff on there. Complete marathon history. Every single time a game is shown off at a marathon, we include the VOD on there. I'm going to do a little there we go, a little Easter egg here. This is the art book of the game, and we talked earlier right at the start about how Fran makes the game for the MSX first. This is Prisoner of War. This is the game that Fran made for the MSX console, which then later became UnMetal, and you can see how much of a difference there is between the two games. And then we sort of get to see how the game progressed on and was developed. Early ideas for option screens. And concept art, things like that. The logo evolved, and yeah, we'll leave that one there. But it's a really cool little thing. That's exclusive to the PC version. The game is also available on PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. I do have the Undeluxe edition for the Switch, which is a really cool collector's edition. Comes with some really cool little things like a soundtrack and a piece of toilet paper, because everyone needs toilet paper in their video game.
We needed that in 2021.
Yeah, we did. We are now going to head.
Oh, you forgot one release, the PS Vita version.
Yes, the game actually this version of the game actually came out on the Vita first. It's a very early version of the game, sort of pre-patch 1 of this release. I do intend to run it one day, but it's unfortunately it's very, very difficult to get hold of. It was a limited release, and it was only released physically. It was not made available on the PlayStation Store, and copies are pretty rare these days. We get a
I think Sergeant Silent has a copy.
He might do, actually.
Right? I don't remember if he does or not. Anyway, there's that big robot we were talking about earlier, and it's gone. With a nice alternate of electromagnetic grenades, the bazooka, and then we alternate between those EMP grenades and the regular grenades. Don't blink, General X might die here in one cycle. And there he goes. Yay.
GG.
GG's. Woo. And our in-game time is
53 minutes and 35 seconds. About 5 minutes behind world record pace, but not surprising. The number of random times that things just didn't go the way I really wanted them to. But for a show to still get it in under 55 minutes in a marathon setting is really, really nice. We do get a little epilogue here. Colonel Harris and Jesse go to the helicopter. They're about to be shot down by their own side because they're in an enemy helicopter, and so Jesse decides that he needs to convince Colonel Harris to get out of to use the only parachute, get out of the helicopter, and Jesse will fly into the missiles and take the crash. So he's going to use all of his linguistic wit to convince Harris that he should be the one to do it. We do get to play that out. We punch Harris in the face and knock him out.
The next thing I remember was waking up.
Yeah, that is UnMetal. And here's the credits. It's a really, really fun game. As I said right at the start, it's very, very funny. It's comedic elements throughout, and you completely lose most of that in a speedrun. So I highly recommend grabbing the game, giving it a go casually. Of course, it would always be great to see new speedrunners on the board. We have recently had a new runner pick up the game. Shout out to Brackon, who has already picked up the third place spot on the leaderboard on any % easy. I do have a full YouTube guide on how to speedrun any % easy. Again, just more about why this game is my passion project. I've built it up over time. I've got times on every major run in the game: unperfect, perfect, easy, normal. I have ran normal. I've done normal like once for every category that needed it. It's a very weird mismatch of easy and hard, but it's all right. All achievements. I've done that run. I've done that run for Complete-a-thon as well. Yeah, it's such a fun, and as I say, whilst it is poking fun at Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake, it pays homage to them very, very well, and it's a very, very well made game in its own respect. It's a great action game. If you've never played Metal Gear or Metal Gear 2, this will not go over your head. It is very, very playable just on its own.
Yeah, no, this game looks fantastic. I'm sure, according to Jack LaFair, at least out of the 4,000 lines of voice-acted dialogue, at least one joke is funny. We didn't get to see a whole lot of that, but I am positive that I would believe Jack LaFair there. Do you have any shout-outs that you want to make to the community, or, maybe plug a special event that you have coming up in a few hours?
Yes, so speaking of passion projects, I do have one other passion project. I am the co-founder of a speedrun marathon team called Pixel Perfect Events. Pixel Perfect Marathon 4 starts in 7 hours. So I am going to be going to bed after this run, getting a bit more sleep, and then jumping straight back onto my computer to get that run started. So it's a marathon team that I set up alongside Jasper and the Lightning Strikes. So we've got our 4th event come up. We've got a whole weekend of awesome speed runs. I will be running myself as well. I'll be running Klonoa 2 Lunateer's Vale on the Saturday, and it's just a really, really fun time. I absolutely love working with Lighty and Jasper on the event. We've got loads of volunteers who've come in to help us out. So yeah, you can check that out, twitch.tv/Pixel Perfect Events. It'd be great to see you there, and come and give it a watch.
We do have that in the title. We've added Pixel Perfect Events. We've got it pinned in chat. We just did a shout out. So if y'all want to check out a great marathon, go check that out as well. This weekend is packed between Pixel Perfect and Juneteenth. My goodness.
So much fun.
There's so many good speedrun marathons happening, especially as we enter the summer. But thank you again so much for being here, for being up this late, for your time zone, and for showcasing this run. This was a lot of fun. And Glenn, thank you so much for being here on commentary. I really appreciate it. I hopefully you can get to sleep straight after. But again, thank you for showcasing your passion projects here. And just a reminder to chat out there that SGDQ is actually coming up at the end of the month, and if you want to check that out, check out the schedule. Plan your watching. There's even a Metal Gear Solid. Is it 4? That's on the schedule.
Metal Gear Solid 4 is being run by Joseph Joestar. I'm on the backup list as well with Metal Gear Solid 3 All Keratons. So you might get to see me, but most likely not. But you might.
Hey. Being backup is a very, very important thing, because every now and again something goes wrong, or maybe we end up with a lot of time to fill. It's like, hey, come here, let's make this a Metal Gear block. But check out the schedule at GameZoneQuick.com. You can get all the information there about the event, whether it's the schedule or any of the panels if you're going, panels in tournaments that are happening. And join the official GDQ Discord, add the Hotfix role where you can keep tabs on upcoming events, talk with staff and showrunners, and more. Use !Discord and Twitch chat for more information on that.
This Colonel Alan Harris.
I wasn't ready for this post-credits scene that's playing in the background on my ears. Y'all can't see. Hello everyone, welcome back to episode 25 of Passion Project and the season 2 premiere, where we are focusing on games that are inspired indie games. We're putting a spotlight on those games out there that were inspired by fan favorite franchises. Frogmonster is no exception to this. I'm joined by Jaxler, the wonderful Jaxler, and his commentators Cave, and the Frogmonster developer. How are y'all doing tonight? Thank you all for being here.
We're super stoked to show this game off. This game is so freaking sick. So I'll go ahead and introduce myself. I'm Jaxler. I'm gonna be doing the run for y'all tonight. And I've got another runner on the couch with me, and as you already heard, the dev as well. So whoever wants to go first, go ahead and introduce yourselves. Yeah.
And I'm Ben. I made the game. That's about it as well.
Oh, that's about it. You know, the guy who made this really cool thing that we're about to play. All right.
I'm gonna have Cave reintroduce himself real quick.
Yeah. Technical difficulties. Uh-oh.
First time.
All right, so while we're waiting for Cave to get his mic connected to OBS, I just want to say thank you again for submitting this. When I looked at this game, I checked out the trailer. I was like, what is this inspired by? And it looks like it's inspired by, you know, Metroidvanias and things like Doom and Quake. And I was like, this ain't a Jaxler speedrun. What are you talking about? Goofy 3D mascot platformers, Jaxler running this?
Yeah,
But,
no, I'm
How
not
did
normally.
you happen upon this?
Yeah, so no, it was just like kind of a freak accident. I saw, you know, Ben's initial tweet announcing the release date, or that the game was like coming out in like 2 days, and I looked at the trailer and I'm like, oh, I have to play that, and then I played it, and I'm like, because like you said, I'm not normally an FPS runner, so
No.
I played it. It was really, really, really good. And then I was like, okay, I guess I have to start doing runs. And now I already have more hours in this game than some other runs I've seriously done in the past, which, you know. So, I guess while we're getting set up, I can give you all kind of the brief rundown on what you're about to see. So, Frogmonster is a 3D Metroidvania that I kind of pitch to people as a combo of Metroid Prime and Doom Eternal's combat wheel with some Dark Souls style bosses. Got this gorgeous voxel 3D art style, and it's so freaking fun. I'm gonna say this like at least 7 or 8 times throughout the course of this. Please buy this game. Please play this game. It's so dang good. So that's my pitch. Just double checking. Are we all good to go? Or are we still kind of waiting on?
We actually do have introducing Cave.
Oh,
How are you doing tonight? There we go.
Yeah, I'm Cave. I speedrun Frogmonster also. That's all.
Yeah.
nothing crazy.
Yeah, so these two are gonna help me. This game is really hard. So we're actually playing on classic, which is like the default difficulty, but also the hardest. It actually ends up being the fastest difficulty for a couple of different reasons. Mostly the boss fights, which we'll talk about a bit further into the run, and then that no zap signifier. That basically means we play on current patch, which patched out a bug with one of the spells that let you basically fry bosses and enemies instantly, and not as fun. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and Amber, if you're good to go, I'm ready to get started.
I'm looking forward to this. I have not seen the full speedrun of this, so by all means, count us in.
All right, hold on to your hats, everybody. Time is gonna start on go. Let's get started in 3, 2, 1, go. All right, welcome to Frogmonster, everybody. So we're going to be starting off with pretty much just one weapon in a dream here. We start off with a 6-pellet pistol, and then in just a moment, I'm going to do a little bit of movement to grab our tongue upgrade. So this is going to allow us to hit levers as well as other things in the environment, and more importantly, pick up some bugs and critters along the way. So, Kay, would you be able to explain what I'm picking up along the way here?
Yep, so Jackson's going to go ahead and pick up a couple bugs that are going to be used throughout the run. You can think of bugs in the same way that you think of the badges in Hollow Knight. I can't remember the exact name, but they give him extra abilities. Here he's trying to grab a fly, which will give him faster reload speed, which is going to help with this arena area. We're going to see these arenas throughout the game as well. Essentially, you're going to have to kill all these enemies before you can move on. Ben, you can talk a little bit about like each of the bugs' specific abilities here. I know he's also looking for a dragonfly, which could be a bit of a pain to grab RNG-wise.
They're very fast, and they can fly right over your head, and not easy to catch up with, especially in a speedrun.
Oh, we got a freebie. Nice.
That's unreal.
Nice.
That's unreal dragonfly RNG.
I'll take it after I got completely obliterated trying to get a fly during that first wave of enemies there. Yeah, so bugs have an effect not only when you equip them and at a safe point, but also a temporary effect once you eat them. And so you'll see a bit, we equip the fly, which is going to give us those faster reloads. And then do either one of you mind explaining how the spells work?
Go.
Yeah, so Oh yeah, so spells, they cost mana to use, which is dropped by enemies, and on hit, a lot of them will heal you. So it's like damage and healing, but you have to hit them.
And the one we picked up originally is Fireball. This is the cheapest spell. It just sends out a single fireball and will heal you one full health bar like section if you do manage to hit it. And Jack's just coming up to the first boss of the run, Groth.
2, 3, 4. Then we're gonna jump over his head. So when you enter this fight, you get a free mana bar, which is really helpful. So you can kind of think of shooting a fireball into an enemy as almost equivalent to like headshotting an enemy with all of your pellets on a shotgun blast. So I'm gonna go ahead and shoot one more. 1, 2, 3. That's gonna kill the boss just like that. We really want to make sure that we end that fight in that spot so that when Trench spawns in, he joins us in this side of the arena. So we're right where we need to go at the end after he gives us the money. And then we also wanted to make sure that we didn't spend all our shotgun ammo because I want to have at least one shot in the chamber for the next wave of enemies in the next area that we're going to head to. So he also gave us a bug slot for killing that boss, and we're going to go ahead and do another bit of menuing here. This is going to be kind of our standard build for the early game, which is Fly and Dragonfly, those two bugs you saw me look for. And the mush rolls over here have an on-use speed boost effect. You can actually use it to make that platform skip right there. So glad I got to nail that one while talking. That one's a little annoying sometimes.
That was crazy. Yeah,
all right, so I'm going to look ahead a little bit here. See, yeah, that purple snack's kind of gonzo. So if I pick that purple butterfly up, that really big one, I get a free cast of my fireball, which would speed the fight up. But it's a pretty rare. Or right there, boom. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of spots where I'm just going to be kind of shutting up and letting the fights happen because, like, not only am I, I'm listening just as much as I am, like, pressing buttons and talking because I need to keep track of where all the enemies are. And that's one of kind of the really nice things about this game is there's a lot of good, like, audio cues for, like, what's going on in the background. And so we pick up a save point there. That's going to be very important for later. And then I also grab a mush frog on the way because we're going to want that as an equipable for later. It does give us a little bit of mana when we eat it, but every time we get a new spell unlocked, like we pick it up, it'll give us a full mana refill, which we are going to make very good use of. So, actually, on our way to our next spell.
You picked up the machine gun.
Yeah, that too. That's going to be really, yeah. So there's supposed to be like 8 total weapons that you can get over the course of the game. We're going to skip 4 of them. I know Ben is not very happy about, but
when all bosses comes in.
When they started speedrunning this, every subsequent run like took out more and more of the game.
Yeah, so those pink flowers on the vines right there, that's our checkpoint. We're actually going to skip that checkpoint on purpose because of a sequence frick that we're setting up for. So basically, and I'm not super worried, but basically from this point onward, I'm going to need to play Deathless in order to make sure that I don't get sent like a crazy far bit back. And now we're going to head into Marvin. So I've got 2 fireballs and then the freebie from that purple snack I picked up. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So Marvin's first attack is guaranteed to be sort of the, I call them cream puffs. I don't know what you would actually call that attack, but...
I'd probably say a spore.
Spore, yeah, that's probably the word. So the gimmick with the spores is that if you don't shoot them before they touch the ground, they will turn into enemies, which sometimes you'll actually want to let happen because you can use them as free ammo pickups. And so now we've had a really good transition from phase 2 into phase 3. And that's Marvin. Wow! Okay, 46! Wow. Okay, that was actually really good. I've been getting rolled by this game all week, so that's pretty... So there is another purple snack in here that you can sometimes use to DPS on Marvin. But now that we've got it here, we can actually just hold on to it and take it into the next area. So this is going to give us dash, so this is going to be our next bit of movement tech. So the dash is on a cooldown, and it is much faster to dash through the air than it is to dash on the ground. And so I'm going to take the fall right there. That was funky. Do a dash jump, and there's going to be bunny hopping a lot after I do a jump or in a dash, just because we're trying to maintain that momentum for as long as possible. We're going to pick up another spell here, but we're probably never going to see it. It's Sharp Shot. It's a really good spell, but we have very specific uses for the other 2 spells that we're going to pick up. We already picked up one of them. but we'll be getting another one later. That's kind of like the backbone for making this this whole route like actually marathon viable. I'll be real. This game's so hard. So every enemy that spawns in is like deterministic. So like all the enemies are going to spawn in the same spot, and the triggers for them spawning in are consistent as well. So as long as you keep track of like, you know, how many of the enemies that you kill, you know exactly where the rats are going to end up. So I'm going to do this in a very specific pattern by starting off with this one, and then we're going to kill this one. Fastest way to kill these guys, if you don't have any mana, it's 2 headshots. And then if you do have mana, it's fireball headshot. So we're basically, the logic behind the way I route this one is we're just going quick as possible to the rats that are stationary, because they can't chase after us, right? So we're just meeting them halfway, if that makes sense. So again, we're not picking up any save points because we're going to be doing a save and reload later. That's going to allow us to skip a good bit of the game. I'm also going to hit a couple of these lamps as well. A little Easter egg. It gives you a couple of coins if you do that. Actually somewhat necessary to make the money route that we need, but if we don't have the money we need, there's a pretty easy backup. All right, here's Long Beast. Kay, do you mind explaining how Long Beast works?
Yeah, Long Beast is a very fun fight. You have this giant snake. He's got you enclosed inside his body. You're going to notice what might look like weak points that you should be shooting at on the side of the snake, and these little like scars. But actually what we're going to do is have the rats that the snake spits out run into them, and that's going to make Long Beast drop ammo as well as do some damage. So Jaxter's time and dashes to jump out of the rat's way while also getting the rat to run back into those weak points. And that's just about it as far as this fight goes.
So now he's going to flip his weak points away from us, so I'm going to kill the rat, and then we're just going to hit him in the face with the shotgun until he pops. Nice. That was a good fight. 836, alright, we'll take it.
That's solid. Very good.
Not going to complain. And you're going to notice as well that we've been kind of picking up some random chests along the way. These are things like smooth stones and square rocks that we can sell to different NPCs for some extra money. We used to, when we first routed this game, we actually ended up not getting all that much money and like not spending all that much money. But as like we've kind of realized, well, as you'll see later, there's some really cool stuff that you can do with one of the spells. So we're going to quit and reload. This is actually going to put us back where we saved earlier in Marvin's domain. And the way the game is supposed to progress is that the exit that we took from Marvin's fight arena into the outskirts is supposed to be a one-way trip. So you're not supposed to be able to come back here until you go through the Really Lost Swamp, I think it's called. And so if we don't take any checkpoints, when we quit and reload, it'll let us keep the sort of Metroidvania power-up that we took with us, which is the Sticky Hands. And then we can essentially skip that whole area and that boss. So that's already one weapon skipped, which is like the bow. And then right here, we're going to pick up a bird, get the leaf bug as well. So this part's really fun because we've got a lot of more platformery style skips. You're going to be noticing me catch a couple of these birds here. They allow us like to instantly refresh our dash. And now we're going to be doing 2 arena skips here. So the first one's a little bit trickier. That's probably the scariest part is that jump. And I'm going to kind of ride the collision on the wall. All of this is solid. Wow. And then we're going to use... He shoots right here, and we get over the wall, and we skip that fight. Nice, nice, nice.
That's really hard.
Yeah.
You made that look easy. That is not... There are a lot of zones that will lock you into that arena.
The collision is really bouncy, too, so that wall's just trying to keep you off of it.
Yeah. And another thing to note as well is that turning your camera can actually affect the way that you collide with walls, so you have to be really careful there. We're going to do a dash jump right here. Set up a jump, dash midair at the peak, and that's a second fight skipped right there. And then we're going to skip another boss. So there's a boss that you're supposed to fight to get into the village here. And ironically, this is like the easiest of the 3 Yellow Forest skips, which I think is just cosmically hilarious. And so we just skip right through town, and we're going to get out of here and into the Green Sea here. So there's 2... Oh, there's the bass. Nice. So that's not a guaranteed spawn, at least in a place that's easily identifiable. We'll be able to equip that later in order to give us a higher swim speed. That'll be really nice. And then most of these guys will either die to a shotgun blast to the head, or... Oh, he's still alive. Okay. 1,000. It was a little early. Where's the last guy? Oh. I'm gonna be real, I thought I missed one, and so I didn't get into position for the quick kill on the last bit.
Yeah, I got a little scuffed, but it's still good. Worth noting, when we did skip that one boss, Ben actually added a voice line, or not a voice line, but
Dialogue
a
box,
text line
yeah.
to those guards, saying like, "Hey, you're supposed to go fight that guy. That's not fair."
'Cause, before they like kind of didn't make any sense because you'd be over the wall and they'd still be like pretending you weren't, and I was like, we'll patch it out. We'll do that.
Yeah.
Which super sick.
Yeah, worth mentioning as well, and why I feel like Ben is the GOAT, is he actually wrote the auto splitter for us for this game. So,
X.
which is just unheard of. Like, so again, thank you.
No problem.
Now
I
you're
couldn't
on to
imagine.
Oh, go ahead, Ben.
I couldn't imagine having to split this game while also playing it. Like,
Yeah.
your brain, I don't think could handle it.
Oh yeah. So now we're going on our big shopping trip. So Cave, do you want to like kind of talk about what we're doing right now?
Yeah, so throughout the run, when Jackson was opening chests, he was picking up sparkling gems, smooth stones, square rocks, and we're selling all of that now in order to buy beans, a magnet bug, and a bug slot. Here we have probably the silliest save and quit strat, literally just to bounce out of this house.
It saves like 4 seconds or something dumb.
Yeah, but you know, time is time, right? Here is the fast travel system. It gets a lot more use in casual play. We really are only going to use this like a handful of times. We're going to sell our square rocks to this fella back in the town that we passed through a little bit ago. We have enough money here to buy beans and the magnet bug, which we're going to be using a lot. And then we're going to steal his sparkling gem. Fun fact, when you take this gem, you can sell it for 400 coins or whatever to this shopkeeper. But if you try to buy from the shopkeeper you stole from, he actually raises his prices. So we routed the shopping trip out so that we buy everything from that first shopkeeper, then steal his gem, and then we come back here and buy our last bug slot. With that bug slot, it lets us have some really unique bug combinations. The one Jacks are equipped now, and we're going to start to see these fights really start to explode, is we equipped Mush Frog for a secret synergy with Beans, which we just bought.
And we'll probably see that.
I'll let it explain.
Yeah, you'll see it in a bit. But we're gonna see a bit of tech here in a moment called a Mush Bomb Bounce. So that spell that we got in Marvin's domain creates one of those mushroom bomb enemies that will normally chase enemies, but the explosion can damage boost you. And so we're gonna use it right here to boost over this web and skip some of the movement to get around. That one's not super critical. And we're gonna shotgun that squirrel in the face. And this is where beans come into play. So there are things called secret synergies in this game, where if you have a certain spell and critter combo equipped, then it will activate a bonus effect when you cast the spell. And in this case, when you cast the spell, it causes your bullets to home in on enemies for a couple of seconds. So, all right, so right here we're gonna do something called the web. Nice. Okay.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
So with a proper angle right there, you can just clip right through that web. And then now we're going into probably the hardest skip in the run, which is a state skip. I'm going to let Kate take over here.
Yeah, so one thing to know about that web skip you just did, you need to be at 60 FPS capped. The lower the better. Here we have a state skip. What you're supposed to do is take this really long route. It takes about like genuinely 15 minutes to get back to how you're supposed to get back here.
Oh yeah!
But instead, Jaxler, holy cow, did it first try.
Oh my god.
That's really hard.
Yeah, so you have to mush bounce out of bounds, and then you have to run up against that wall, and then using the cricket, which lets you store 2 dashes, you do a jump into a dash into the wall, and using the momentum bounces you higher. You do that twice with very like close timing on the jumps, and it lets you get over an invisible wall, which skips a lot of gameplay. And a bunch of arenas and bosses.
And the bigger, so we've definitely already skipped one of the weapons. But even more so than that is that the big reason we wanted to be here in the first place is because our big goal is to go ahead and grab the wood cannon, which is kind of like sort of like the barrier that prevents us from getting into, not like end game I'd say, but like kind of like where the game really starts to open up. It is possible to, I went backwards, oopsie. It is possible to get to a place called Ridge, which is kind of where the next part of the game takes place, without doing the sequence that we're doing, but it actually ends up being slower for a really funny reason. But that's neither here nor there, because now we're heading into Hedgeward. This is where the boss fights start to get really hard. Hedgeward is notorious for killing runs, or at least was until we routed Beans in. Because the nice thing about beans is that the way that critting the boss in this fight works is that the boss will drop ammo and take double damage when you hit him in one of his eyes. And whenever you activate beans, it homes in on the eyes and not just the body, which is really nice. Now we're gonna switch over to the machine gun. Basically, my strategy is gonna be, as much as practically possible, I'm gonna try to, throw shotgun pellets into the boss's face. And then during this phase, that's a guaranteed moment for, we know exactly when, like, the boss is I'm gonna go ahead and grab this ammo fly for a refill on shotgun bullets, because, you are a little bit at the mercy of the RNG sometimes when it comes to your ammo drops, because, even if you don't have the weapon unlocked, it will still drop ammo for it. So there can be sometimes periods where you just don't get the drops you need. Okay, so this means we're kind of going into the last phase. We got a really quick transition into here. Oh, I am out of shotgun ammo. Nice. That was a good fight.
Good fight.
Oh my goodness, we're sub 18 out of heads. That's really good. For context, my record is like a low 17, which is very obviously, that's really hard to compare against, but like in a marathon, not bad.
You take those.
Yeah, so we're gonna be taking
those.
Yeah, we definitely take those. So we're taking another fast travel point here, and I will be equipping that bass we picked up earlier, just for a little bit of extra swim speed, and then we can grab the cricket right here for a little speed boost, and then we'll just get rid of you, and yeah. And you'd be actually surprised like how much in movement that getting the bass there saves. It makes getting up the waterfall so much cleaner. I also always love when there's a secret inside a waterfall in a video game. It's just kind of my aesthetic. But we're gonna be picking up another critter here on the way. We're gonna grab a mantis if I can. Yeah, he's really hard to see. So Kate, do you want to explain what this build's for?
Yeah, so essentially we're running two builds. One is they're always going to include the Mush Frog for the Beans capabilities, because Beans just accelerates us so much as far as fighting enemies. The one we're equipping now is Minnow and Mantis. Mantis will give us a little fella that sits on top of our head that's going to shoot out a little, like an extra pistol shot basically on occasion. So if you see like a hit marker, even though Jaxer's not shooting, it's because Mantis is doing its best to fend these enemies off. And what Minnow does is for any creature that spawns with you, Minnow will make their ability happen more often. So having Minnow and Mantis just makes it so that the extra bullet fire is happening more often.
Yeah, so
there are a few other critters where Minnow affects it, but Mantis has been the one that we've find is most helpful.
Yeah, and we don't really need the chance to spawn extra bullets from the leaf bug equip. And that mostly has to do with the next couple of bosses and the way that their fights work. Right? And it's really helpful to have Mantis in these couple of fights, because the next couple of bosses are going to summon familiars. And the fact that we have access to... I'm going to try to get this so I can shoot a couple extra... He did? He did die. Sweet. And you got to be really careful. These bulls are very dangerous. Like, it is so easy to get run over by these guys, and you can already see it's kind of happening. Yeah, so I'm being pretty liberal with my use of spells and the wood cannon ammo. And this is mostly a fun... Yeah, so you can see, like, there was an enemy up there that I didn't even have to shoot because Mantis and Minnow were taking care of it for me. So the reason we're kind of, like, not super worried about, like, mana usage and wood cannon usage is mostly because of this boss, Chroma. So the way that Chroma's fight works is that you advance the fight by using your bullets to paint new colors on the wings of the boss. And so it's not a matter of how much damage you deal, it's a matter of coverage. So the big upside to having Mantis Minnow equipped is you saw all of those moss spawns there, and Mantis Minnow pretty much kills those each in one hit. It's really convenient. Wow, that bug just dropped 3 wood cannon balls. That is insane.
The odds of that happening are like...
That is the rarest drop to get, by the way, in terms of
It's like a 1 in 25 or something at this point.
That's so funny.
For marathon runs, this seems very blessed.
No, it literally doesn't help us because the wood cannon is a single projectile, right? And we're gonna do a quit and reload after this fight anyway. Yeah, there we go, nice. That was a pretty solid chroma.
Anywhere else, it would be great.
Yeah. So that's going to give us tongue swing, which allows us to use our tongue as a grappling hook, which is just so sick. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to vault all the way up here, land, so it saves that as a safe spot, and then fall on purpose to void out, so I can grab that purple snack. That's going to give us a free cast of beans going into this next fight, and that's going to be really helpful for us, just because when you set it up right, like a beans into shotgun pellets will just decimate fights. Yeah, so that's first phase of that already done. Yeah, so pretty much I'm trying to spend my meter, my mana, as soon as I get it. Just because what you don't want to have happen is you end up like picking up mana when the meter's already full, because then that's just wasted mana.
Ben, someone in the chat asked what your favorite boss was to create or come up with.
Ooh, I'd say Barge. Barge is my favorite.
I was gonna say Barge is also probably my favorite boss.
So sick.
It's funny too, because we were talking about like how we found a way to get to the ridge area early, but it ends up being slower, and the reason why is because Barge takes so long to kill. Alright, so this is Rooney. Cave, if you don't mind taking over for this fight.
Yeah, so Rooney has a lot of interesting functionalities. What Jackson's going to start off with is using the cannon shots as well as Bean's shotgun combo to try to get through this first phase, where he's just using his green attack. And you're going to want to take note of the wand colors. What Rooney's doing is stealing your ammo and using it for his attacks. So ideally, he's not taking our shotgun or submachine gun ammo, which you see here, he took our shotgun ammo when he turned red. And each of those is a different type of attack, and it actually burns your actual ammo. This is another scenario where Wide Mantis is so nice to have for the shotgun or the submachine gun and fire one specifically. It deals with the enemies that he spawns. Here, on our third and final phase, we're going to go phase by phase, going through each attack where we can only use the gun related. For any of the guns that we don't have, it's just going to default us to pistol, but Jackson is making pretty quick work of each phase. Yeah, here we're going to try to get enough mana from these enemies that spawn to use beans. I think Jackson and I do like different phases for where we use beans, but it all works out as the same.
Yeah, I'm going to opt for beans pretty much as soon as we... Actually, it makes a little bit more sense to spend it on the 2 fireballs. You get a little bit more DPS out of that.
No, that's so true, actually. That's so sick. Never thought of that. You want to talk a bit about, I don't know, do you want to talk about lore, Ben?
Yeah, what
part in the lore?
Yeah,
so... Can we get a lore master in here?
So in the beginning, Melora is your creator, basically, and you're like a frog, basically, like, you know, to avenge her, kind of, because this guy, Rooney, who's kind of like her brother, I guess, kind of locked her up and then started making these bosses that you're fighting. And then here we go. We just beat Rooney.
Low 25 is...
That's really good for marathon run. It's, you know... So what we're actually going to do right here is as soon as we see the game saved thing pop up, we're going to go ahead and it's going to say respawn point set. We're going to quit and reload. That actually skips the cutscene where Rooney comes by and tells us that, oh, we got to get the all 6 Chaos Emeralds in order to open the door. For lack of a better... All right, so here's the dash jump that Cave hates.
Yeah, I actually, you know what's crazy? Practice run today when I was trying to like relearn the run, I hit it.
Hell yeah.
The first time ever.
So we're heading into Moridono's domain next, and this is kind of another one of the, we are going to be going with kind of the standard tried and true leaf bug. I don't think I properly explained what leaf bug does. Leaf bug actually gives you a % chance to basically double the amount of bullets that come out of a specific shot. Most notably, that is very broken with the shotgun, because instead of like individually like doubling a single pellet, if you get the crit, like if you get the bonus, you double every pellet, and it's insane.
Well, one thing to know about Moridono's domain is we're going to see Jaxer continuously pick up mushrooms, and that's because the entire area is poisonous, and mushrooms give you a bonus effect on eating them that make you resistant to poison. So we have to make sure that we're keeping an eye on that bottom right corner where the mushroom's being shown to make sure that we're keeping our immunity up.
Yeah, so I actually delayed my dash right there because that guy likes to, like, if you try to outrun it, you will just get hit. So we're actually going to try to skip this checkpoint here as well, just because when we quit and reload, it'll take us right to the start of Moridono's domain. So, all right, so here comes Moridono himself. So, you know what? Dave, I'll let you take over while I focus here. I keep forgetting how much of this game that I gotta focus on, you know?
No, this game, again, Jaxer's making all this look very easy. Like, even the bosses we've fought so far are tough. Moridono is going to have a lot of phases, and each one we're just going to shoot these points that are glowing. This is the fight where Beans absolutely changed it for us. Beans turned this fight from being really slow to really fast, since each bullet's going to actually go ahead and target those weak points automatically. Once again, we still have to keep up with getting mushrooms. And one thing that we haven't totally mentioned is exactly how good Magnet Bug is. Magnets helping us pick up mana and ammo from a pretty sizable difference, which lets us keep firing beam shots and continuously have shotgun and submachine gun ammo to hit these weak points.
So that's phase 2. And phase 3
is... about some of the, you know, like phases, inspirations making them bed, you know, like how you came up with added the names
first...
for each phase.
Yeah, well, I wanted to, like, you know, because there's like 4 individual ones, so I was like, okay, I need like a 4-syllable name and to break it up. And I guess the first guy was kind of like, you know, dinosaur inspired, and this guy's frog inspired. And then this one, I was looking at my ceiling fan and was like, you know, that could be a boss. And
that's crazy.
So this is the ceiling fan phase, and then the next phase is probably my favorite.
Yeah, it's also. There's like kind of like almost like 4 phases to this phase in and of itself where we continuously gain height. I really need to make sure I make good use of my mana here because this phase is so hard to do without mana, but also if you don't have shotgun ammo or mana, it is so stinking hard. Just because he moves so fast and he's like rotating and all that, and it's just really tough to deal with. And then this phase, we don't even you're supposed to jump over the lasers, but it's just a lot easier and more efficient to just go ahead and just damage boost all the way through. That's Moridono. And then as soon as he's dead, we're going to go ahead and leave. And so we're going to go ahead and very briefly swap back to Mantis Minnow for the last time. We're actually going to be doing a little bit of movement through Ridge itself. The cool thing about the way that the Ridge areas are set up is that, for the most part, you can kind of like, there's like paths to navigate in between the individual areas as opposed to like going through the Ridge itself. But we're actually going to go through Ridge proper, so that we can do kind of like 3 or 4 bosses all sort of in quick succession. I think there's something like, 7 or 8 bosses kind of included as part of this Ridge section, and you only need to defeat 6 of them, including Rooney, in order to open the door towards the final boss. I gotta be a little careful here.
Everyone hates these birds.
I, myself included.
Wow, dodging that last bird is crazy. That one, I don't think I've ever dodged that one.
That was close.
And the nice thing too is that all those fellows are going to give us extra ammo and refill on mana as well, which is really crucial. So we're going to be setting up for maybe one of my favorite like strats in the entire game. This is Uskendord, and we're going to do the fish in a barrel strat. So 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, they're asking you to clean up their house because they're scared of bugs, but turns out they're not so good guys after all.
All right, so we're going to set up a mush bomb. That gets us up here. And then they can't hit. They can't really hit. As long as I'm careful, they cannot hit us from here. So we're just gonna wail on them from up here. So I do need to make sure I am moving back and forth. And this is a big reason why having Magnet Bug is so important, is because I would eventually run out of ammo and not be able to get the ammo that they do drop. So Cave, would you be, or honestly, either of y'all, would you be able to explain how the brothers interact with each other and like the mana drops?
You go for it, Ben. You probably.
Yeah. So
some of them.
the main source of mana is you try to make the axe guy hit the guy with the fire poker. So it's kind of a fun interaction where like you're trying to basically lead one into the other to get your healing reward.
It's
Cave, off the top of your head, do you know how many of the bosses are in the run? I'm trying to remember.
So we do 6 ridge bosses. We do first.
Check my splits really quick.
I'm trying to remember off the top of my head.
Because it's Groth, Snake, Marvin. There's a long gap. Edgeward, Chroma.
Yeah, and then into Rooney, and then the other 5 bosses. So
it's really like in the run they do 13 out of 25 original bosses. So there's a good amount of the game that.
So something I'm actually doing here as well.
All of my favorite bosses.
I'm trying to make sure I don't kill either of the 2 brothers too early, because when they get into low HP, they kind of go into like a enraged mode. And that causes them to like move and attack faster, and so that gives me more opportunities to sort of refill my mana and hit either one of them. Wow, I have nothing. Oh yeah, so once you get up on top of here, you can just leave, and if you do that, take the fast travel point and then come back. It unloads the door, but not the bosses. So you can actually use that to just like cause them to leave the arena, and it completely messes with their AI. It's unfortunately slow, but it is very funny.
The axe guy like gets stuck on air.
Wow, I basically killed him. All right,
really
all right, so after you do this fight, you basically run the math and figure out like how much ammo you have, and that'll determine whether or not you decide to quit and reload there. So that was a pretty solid fight. That fight felt slow, and then they both died like one after the other. So it's pretty much what you want. And now we're heading to Drywood. We're gonna do something called Drywood Skip. Cave, I'll throw this one off to you while I set up for it.
Yeah, so there was originally a different variation of Drywood Skip that Jaxler found that involved doing a mush bomb. That one sucked, quite frankly.
I agree.
He found a better one though, that you just jump up this tree here. He's going to use this first save point. We're eventually going to save and quit to get back out to this one once we kill this boss.
I might take the Zypha to save for safety.
Okay.
We'll see. And you know what? Screw it.
Yeah, you're on crazy pace. Just something to consider.
All right, there we go. Second choice. Not
so
bad.
he's able to climb up that tree, and jump right down into Root Den, which skips a lot of arenas. Like I think you normally have to fight like 4 or 5. That sort of teach you
I didn't
what this boss is.
I don't have. Okay, well this will be interesting. I forgot to do a menu.
You're just missing Frog, right?
Yeah, which will make this harder.
You'll be fine. You got this.
All right, I'm gonna go into
the gimmick
focus
of this
mode.
boss. Yeah, I got you. The gimmick of this boss is that it has an armored shell that you saw at the start. Jaxler used the Ton grapple to rip that armor off. And now we're just going to lay into the newly exposed weak point. We're going to use beans whenever we can. The only time we can really get mana is from ripping the armor off. How do the ammo spawns work then? Is it just every attack kind of gives ammo?
On this one, yeah, I think it's like stomps and explosions, and yeah, generally it's just boss attacks.
Cool.
This guy can kill you fast though. If you're
Yeah, this is honestly I would argue one of, if not the most dangerous bosses in the whole game. Yeah, because now he's starting to do that attack.
This attack has such weird pacing. It messes with my head. For whatever reason, those lasers, the tracking is kind of odd, where it feels like you can dash out of the way, but then like sometimes it'll lead you and sometimes it won't. Is that something that you did? Like, is that intentional, Ben? Like just the way it tracks on these shots, or am I just crazy?
I think he's just hard to deal with.
You just made a tough boss, man.
Dude, he's just all parts of this boss are scary. No, this is one that a lot of
Oh, nice! Nice!
Wow.
Oh, let's
Nice.
go! That fight is
got
so
there.
scary.
Wild.
Oh my gosh. Let's freaking
with the
go.
no bug switch either.
Yeah.
It's worth noting, one of the bugs we pick up at the very beginning of the run is just regular frog, which gives you a longer ton, and it's literally just for that boss fight. Like, that's the only reason we pick up frog.
I like having it as
area.
well if you're having a tough time grabbing that dragonfly early on, but if you thought the run was hard, it's about to get even harder. So this is honestly probably like one of the this place alone is a good argument for playing this game. The way that this area works is that you're gonna see all these like mirror walls and stuff, and the enemies turn invisible, but not on the mirror walls. So you have to use the mirror walls to know where they are. The nice thing is that all the enemies are in predetermined locations, so I know where they are. So all it is a matter of is just like aiming at their head and knowing where they're gonna be.
Are you still using leaf bug magnet?
Yes.
I think I might switch. I think sometimes I do mantis minnow here. I don't know. I need to rewatch my VOD. I like mantis minnow for this just because it helps me like track them sometimes, where like I'll see the shots go off and know where they're at. But the magnet leaf bug build is just better DPS, which I think is what's really cool about this game is you can take so many different routes and different options with your build if you want. Make sure you have
especially when you have gun
mush bomb.
upgrades, right?
Definitely, that's one thing we have totally omitted in this run, but it's a very major part of the casual run is upgrading your weapons. The weapon upgrades are so sick. The shot, one of the submachine gun ones, the two paths is one lets you dual wield, and then the other one just gives it basically the beans synergy where it auto aims. The shotgun one has cool ones. The wood cannon one gives you like 4
shots
cannons at once. Yeah, it's so sick, and it's such a shame. Again, another reason why we're excited to route all bosses eventually, so we can actually use some of these upgraded guns.
Yeah, for sure. So I actually did a really good job of making sure that I ended that fight with full mana. We're actually going to do another mush bomb bounce, which is going to skip a good portion of the temple grounds area. Excuse me. And so we're going to go. Basically, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and hit the save point. And then as soon as I do the skip and activate the door, it's going to set a flag that we have opened the door. And then we can just quit and reload and we're good. Just like that. Open the door, quit, reload. Easy peasy. All right. So there's 2 bosses in this area, both of which are scary. We're going to do the harder one first, which is Lazaro. I would argue in contention for hardest boss in the game. Also pretty fast boss if you play really well. I don't like taking a hit there. I am kind of half considering going back and taking a heal real quick. I think I will do that, actually. You do not want to be at low HP here, so I'm going to be a little bit of a weenie and get a refill. I was mostly shooting those guys for mana and ammo. Sorry, go ahead, Cave.
No, I was gonna say I think that's another point of this game of how sick it is that like I think door crab. I have a much more difficult time with door crab over Lazarus. So I mean that's part of the game, with different play styles and how unique all these bosses are. You really end up getting a very experienced person to person. But this is Lazaro. Do you want Ben and I to take it away? And you can focus up.
We'll take that as a yes.
Yes. You wanna go for it, Ben?
Yeah, so this is Lazaro. You're basically in a rat maze, and he's jumping on top of the walls, and kind of coming at you from all directions, and you're kind of down below. And this is a boss that gives people a run for their money for a little while. It's pretty fun to watch. But obviously Jaxler's pro, so.
Jaxler has been smashing this run, by the way.
No, this is no death so far.
That's a good sign. Once he starts doing this, that indicates that we're kind of in the second phase of the boss fight. So now he's going to chase me a good bit. I should mention... Oh, he's going to eat me? Okay, that's fine. Oh, that's not good. I might die here.
Interesting. Worth noting that Lazaro is one of the bosses where if he runs into you and bites you, it does 2 pieces of damage, which, when we don't take any health upgrades, only have 4, is very deadly. Ooh.
That was just really unlucky. Alright, yeah.
Yeah, that last bite, that was, you got a little trapped on the
Yeah, that's all on me, though. And I went into the fight missing a piece of HP, so... Worth noting as well,
You don't
whenever
let it
you
phase
see like a
you,
yellow
basically.
bullet pop out of my gun, that means that the leaf bug effect is proc and I got an extra bullet. So make sure everything's loaded up. We got full shotgun ammo, that's pretty good.
Fun fact about Lazaro, he was actually introduced as early as
double?
Bomb Beast. If you look up in the arena, you can actually see Lazaro peering over, watching you fight him.
He is truly the leader of the rats.
What are the mana drops in this fight? Is it just that blue bomb?
It's the bombs,
And then
yeah.
when you- Okay.
Yeah, so generally you don't get as much mileage, I think, out of beans in this fight as you do in others. But kind of the ideal is that you end up using it as like Lazaro starts jumping away. Alright, so this is gonna look crazy. I'm gonna take the damage on purpose in order to get... Oh wow, did I really not get like any ammo? Okay, well that's not great.
I think you got a lot of like flamethrower and arrows
Great.
and like finisher.
Lots of
Everything
arrows. I
you
saw
know.
them too, yeah.
So pretty much now that we're like the rats on the ceiling, we're pretty much like it's you know, unless I like turbo throw, we're pretty much guaranteed to kill the boss at this point, which is good. So
Yeah, normally there's two different attacks Lazaro does here. One is he does like a bomb run, and then the other is this one where he's
Please
like
die.
drops these magic arrows.
Oh my god!
If you sit right under him, oh, that's tough.
This boss is so hard.
It,
Yeah, pixels, of course. A couple more pellets and he would have been dead. All right. That's part of the reason why, even though like the run is sub-hour, why you have a bit of an estimate on it. This game is so damn hard. Again, we're not doing this
I
on
mean,
any
Jack's just been
upgrades
making-
either. So, oh, sorry, Kay.
No, I was gonna say you've made a lot of these bosses look way easier than they are. I mean, even some of the stuff before Rooney.
Yeah.
Those are all extremely tough bosses, and Jaxler made them look easy. Again, like you mentioned, no upgrades either. Is definitely tough.
Which at this point, he's dealing basically like half damage if he were to have upgrades.
You have any favorite upgrades, Ben? Like which ones do you like using the most for any of the
Dude,
guns?
the lightning bow is just my favorite probably.
I always did. You know what's crazy? I wasn't put onto the lightning bow until I watched Jackson do the balsam fight. I think I was
really?
always the grenade bow. I like using
The
that.
lightning bow in like later enemy arenas, you just like kind of shoot them on the ground and everything dies. It's beautiful.
It's so sick.
I also like
Yeah.
pants, but pants. Some people do not like pants. So it's a cannon that shoots multiple shots, but they don't go straight. They go like to the left and right, which takes a little to get used to. But obviously you can spread out the damage, and they deal more damage than just a single cannon shot.
One of these days, we're just gonna, when we get really into the weeds, like trying to figure out damages for bosses, we're just gonna beg you for damage numbers for everything. Yeah, there's gonna
I'm
be a
sure
day
you
where
are.
we get together a document and just get like, we're gonna be like, hey, we need to know
There's a
what
few-
this upgrade with Skater equipped and Dragonfly against this boss.
You're gonna need like a calculator from me.
Yeah, calc. That's short for calculated chat. This is the one.
He's on the ceiling again. Oh,
Big thing is
just, like-
the big mistake I kept making is I kept jumping. Yeah, there he goes.
Nice.
there we go.
And now you go from one difficult boss fight, and we're jumping right into another arena. No save point. No anything.
Well, we get
We're
put
just
back
gonna
at the
rush
same
right
save
into
that we
it.
just used, and you do get a little bit of ammo once you kill the boss. And then there's also this guy who I'm gonna take out because he'll shoot at us during the door crab fight proper. Please.
I don't think he does. I think they despawn.
Really?
Am I? Like you
They
confirm.
de-aggro during the fight, I think. They respect the battle, you know, the 1v1.
They're about it. So this is Door Crab. Door Crab is sort of like a boss rush boss. So you're gonna see, well, limbs we didn't actually see, but Door Crab's gonna keep changing its face, and it's gonna do attacks from
I
previous
need
bosses.
anything other than just this one right now.
Yeah, which
Yeah, apparently
actually
it's just showing off limbs.
limbs in Door Crab
Anything
itself.
else?
Oh,
There we go.
Here's the. Is that Chroma?
No, that
Or is
was
that
Bog and Chalk.
That's so. I always thought that was Chroma. Is Bog and
No,
Chalk the
that's funny.
Eels?
Yeah. Oh, here's the well boss that we missed out on.
Yeah, that's kind of funny that Doorcraft is like mostly bosses that we don't actually do in this run. Because there's like
Well, there's a
Yanoi
lot of
too.
other
There's
ones.
like a placeholder.
He just picked it there, yeah. Because you got Marvin and Groth still. Oh, here is Snake Boss.
Timble. Oh, this is Lumpy. I always assumed this was the Cicada one. This is again another really.
I was getting rolled by the ammo drops there, and sometimes there's just nothing you can do about that.
As Jackson mentioned earlier, the ammo you get is random, and it's out of a pool of all the guns in the game, not just the ones we picked up. So sometimes you can't just get rolled with ammo and not get any shotgun or submachine gun or wood cannon ammo, and end up having to run around with just the pistol.
I'm not getting too much. I'm gonna go ahead and just grab this little frog right now if they'll let me. Thank you.
And if anyone's interested in running this game or playing it, I think the Discord link, we just use the general game Discord. We have a speedrunning channel in there. We have some documentation made up. And so far, I think runners just Jaxler, myself, and then Frog on Lilypad has a Zap Bug run. Oh, here's the Marvin base. We didn't see that last time.
There we go.
Does any of that documentation get mirrored to speedrun.com?
I'd have to double check. I'm not very good. This is my first time making documentation.
Fair.
I kind of was just like, I was, just sort of eyeballing it for the most part. It's probably not even up to date.
I'm taking a look.
I'm not realizing.
There's nothing on speedrun.com for the documentation. The Discord link is there, but for folks who are either like a little anxious about joining a Discord, or maybe they're at their limit because they don't have Nitro or something. Mirroring that on speedrun.com, even if it's a little outdated, it is better to exist in both places. But it is glad that the documentation exists at all.
Definitely, yeah, that's a good, yeah. I'll, you know what, tomorrow, eyes peeled on speedrun.com, we're gonna get it out there.
Well, okay, that was almost terrifying. Oh my god. It still is terrifying. Oh my god.
I honestly don't know how to deal with the crabs that spawn. I just do my best to pretend.
Oh, yeah.
Which I feel like is the strat.
It's so hard because the moment you take your eyes off the boss, you die, so.
The cicadas, the little, or I guess, so those are the rats, that's Long Beast, and then the cicada ones when he wakes them back up, right? Is that the...
Yeah, the cicada boss, like his shtick is, right, reviving those cicadas with his call, and he does it with the crabs that are spawned by that snake guy.
Yeah, it's worth noting that there's like a bunch of optional bosses as well, which is kind of a big part of why all bosses would be so sick, is like there's like bosses that you do not even like without glitches you do not need to beat the game. So it's like, okay, a double hit, I'll take it.
It's crazy because a lot of those optional bosses are 100% my favorite. The bee boss, whose name
oh my god,
off the top of my head. Foraz is awesome. He's just a guy. Foraz is just a silly little fella. Foraz Sig Barge, which we mentioned, is such a cool boss. It's like an obstacle course that you sprint through. There's a lot of cool optional bosses. The crab damage is crazy. There's one singular crab in this arena at the beginning.
He's a little jerk.
And the crabs can actually do damage to you. Yeah.
There's a meme achievement that you get for getting pinched to death by a crab, which is very funny.
Speaking of meme achievements, there's one related to the guy that was giving us money earlier. I don't want to completely spoil the achievement, but we have a speedrun category related to that achievement, which is much shorter. It comes in like, if you try to learn it quick, you could probably get it under 20 minutes. I think currently we're hovering around like 13 or 12. No one's really done the category seriously, but I think it's a really cool like introduction category to Frogmonster speedrunning. It only covers 3 bosses. You only have to learn Groth, Marvin, and Long Beast, as well as like Yellow Forest Skip and Limb Skip.
I think we're gonna get there on this fight.
Yeah, you get all the fun early game stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And then if you want, you can do like Yanoi instead of the Yellow Forest skips if you don't want to do those platform and skips that Jax has showcased earlier. So I think it's a super sick category. Which Ben has a time for apparently, but doesn't want to submit it or record it because he doesn't want to embarrass us.
No, I was like 25 seconds short of UK, but I fell into the Yellow Forest Arena.
Got him. Okay. Thank
Nice.
God.
There we go.
That fight usually doesn't get me that bad, but you know what? It's all good. We were cruising with like no deaths up until Lazaro, so I'm not gonna be too upset with that.
You had a I think Moridono, you were like sub 30.
Oh
which
my
is just,
God!
yeah, you were on an unreal pace. I kind of didn't want to bring it up because I was like, I'm gonna let Jaxler cook.
Yeah, I've also just been running without splits for a while too because I actually kind of took a break from this game a little bit because I already have more hours in this game than a lot of games that I've put time into in the past, and this game's been out for like not even 2 full months yet, right? So it's like
2.5, I think.
Yeah, I have like 160 hours in this game already, which is just not healthy. But that aside, I haven't been running with splits because I went from like putting all my time and like focus and concentration into like turbo grinding it, and then now I'm kind of just like, oh, I just want to show people the game and get people excited. But
quick update as to what we've done. We killed the minimum amount of ridge bosses necessary, so we skipped 2 of them. We skipped Barge, which is just a super long fight, and we skipped Krogar and the Scavengers, which is just also long and also difficult. And that, since we killed 6 bosses total, which is Rooney plus the 5 we did in Ridge, that gave us access to Myzan's Forest. Myzan is the big bad of this game. You see him scurrying around every now and then. This section is essentially just arena after arena after arena. We're going to get a lot of use out of beans here to just try to get through each of these as fast as we can. These enemies are tough. They hit hard. They hit fast. And there's a lot of them. So it's definitely a tough area. But once again, the beans innovation made this a lot easier for us. Especially this one particularly. Before I used to do, the old COD Zombies trick where I just run in circles to try to get like a giant train going. With beans, you can actually take the offensive. So you see Jaxler doing a really good job of basically killing stuff as soon as it spawns with the use of beans and just knowing where enemies are spawning at.
And as you'll notice, like once he clears one of the areas, like a light turns on forward. So it kind of forces you like to keep going forwards. But yeah, no, he's doing a great job.
And if you die at any point, you have to go back to the very start and do all the arenas from scratch. So it's definitely, when you're doing runs, it's absolutely brutal to get to, one of the last few arenas and then die at the end and have to go through everything again.
That arena is really scary because there's bulls that spawn, and those guys deal double damage. So very, very, very dangerous. You gotta be very, very careful there. All right, I'm gonna.
One of the bugs Jackson just picked up there was an ammo fly, which just refills the gun that he's currently holding. One of the cool things about Rowden was figuring out, the bugs, as we mentioned, have 2 effects: the one that you get when you equip them, and then the one you get for eating them. So there's incentive to, eat bugs even after you've collected them. So we look out for ammo flies particularly, just so that we can restock our shotgun or wood cannon ammo. Yeah, here you see him just shooting in the dark because he knows there's an enemy over there.
There we go.
And Beans was helping him out. That's so funny. Yeah, but the Beans synergy absolutely changed the speedrun in the best way possible.
Oh, I think I got all of them.
Yeah, I think is that,
that was so
last
clean.
area, or is there one more?
No, that's it. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and take that ammo fly towards the end there because shotgun ammo is probably our most valuable resource here. And then obviously take the save.
There you go.
And then now the 2 hardest bosses in the game back to back. So here comes my Zand 1. I'm gonna shut up for probably most of the rest of the run. Well.
Ben and I are gonna cook. The barge off rip is crazy. You want to talk about Myzan 1, Ben? Because this boss is just so cool. So
yeah,
I'll let you go ahead and show off.
So Myzan 1, basically, he kind of like morphs himself into recreating 7 of his kind of previous bosses. This is of Barge, which is one of my favorite bosses. Barge is like a horizontal obstacle course, though, that changes every time. And then this is like switched to being vertical. But you'll see him go through kind of 7, and some of them we've seen before. So, for example,
this is a good one to see early.
This right here, right, obviously is the rat. But some
much easier version of the rat.
I feel like some of these might be harder versions, but this one definitely is easier.
I would say, sheesh. I think Uskendord is kind of tough.
I think this one might
you
be
can't
harder.
jump on the house.
Yeah.
Right.
And then maybe this one could sometimes be.
Oh, I like
troublesome.
this guy.
So this is Zithida. So again, Jax is, using the grapple points to expose the weak point.
And you get a lot of
It's a
free.
good way to restock on mana.
Yeah, right. This is a lot of healing right here. Every once in a while, you have someone who doesn't fight Zithida and gets to this point and doesn't know how to kill them.
Oh, well, here we go. This is the hardest phase.
Yeah, so this is, which is funny because I was going to say that this is harder than the original boss, but I think just both the original boss and the Maizen version are both just
Insane.
horrifically difficult. So this is Krogar and the Scavengers. This first phase is supposed to imitate, essentially what the boss fight is. It's a bit of a, this shouldn't be a spoiler. Like, if you haven't played Sekiro at this point, like, I'm sorry. It's a bit of a Dead Ape situation or Guardian Ape situation where you fight Krogar originally, and then you like go down further in the arena because you killed Krogar, and then it turns out a bunch of scavengers have taken over his body and are using it as like a ship. So there's 3 different enemies in there, so that's what this boss is sort of replicating, where you have the 3 different attacks of the scavengers taking over Krogar's body. Did I get that right? I haven't fought Krogar forever, so I could be wrong there.
I remember the first time you got to him and you're like, dude, what is this? This is so
we got
hard.
bird. Good. This is another big reason why
that's
Beans
good.
is so fast.
Oh yeah, this one's
I think
so
you're
much
gonna,
easier.
you're gonna one phase this.
I am indeed.
Oh, there you
Nice.
go.
That's
Thank
sick.
you,
Yeah,
Beans.
Beans again, game changing. Yeah, I'll definitely say Door Crab is close.
I would argue this one's a little bit harder.
Yeah. The timing of the like slams are.
It's honestly the
they can
spinning
sometimes-
attack
He
that's
can
like
mix you up.
the hardest part for me.
Yeah, they can mix you up.
One of my friends kept asking for a sword crab boss in the game, and then I already had the door crab idea, so I was like, well, it can't be that. And then I was like, oh, perfect. So there's sword crab right there.
All right, last
Which chat
phase,
you're
I
in it.
believe.
If you want a boss, just relentlessly ping Ben, and he'll oblige and make you a boss.
It might work. You never know.
It is worth noting, they're not going to be shown here, but you have made 3 post-game bosses since release, and all of them are so sick.
I mean, if we got time, I'm down to run in on one of them. But we'll see. We'll see what time I come in under, and if Amber just wants to go.
I mean, I
See
don't.
some balsam.
I went to sleep at
Balsam.
7 a.m. today and took a nap, like an hour nap, like right before the show. I am fine.
Oh yeah, we're going to get Balsam Showcase.
Let's go.
If you want to see breakdance in trees, Twitch chat, you gotta let us hear it. We're calling for an encore.
I mean, I kind of want to see breakdancing trees.
Is
Oh,
Jaxler
fantastic.
ready though? Is he ready for the balsam? I don't know.
Either that or Mud the stick bug. And everyone can get stick bugged.
All right, I think we got it. Yes,
Was that the last one?
that was the last one.
Nice,
First
dude.
try to my
Sick
hand one.
Maizen
Oh
one.
yeah, baby.
That was clean.
Oh, thank the Lord. Most of my practice leading up to getting in this call was on my hand one. I would argue that's probably the hardest single fight in the run period. We're gonna do another quit and reload to refill our resources here, and then I'm gonna take.
Yeah, smart.
I'm gonna switch to wood cannon so I can just get another bite of it. And then now we're going to Maizen 2, and either one of you want to take it from here?
Yeah, you can go ahead, Ben.
This is the final boss of the normal game. This is basically like Rooney is basically like a child compared to this guy. This guy is like a full-blown creator, and yeah, this boss fight kicks ass.
I agree.
It's very cool.
It's also really hard.
It is really hard. Getting used to
This
the
was-
timings on this first part. I mean, he's making it look easy, but especially in this first phase, the timings just feel rough.
And he's saying that as the guy who made the
major
thing.
yips on this boss.
I made
devs.
them rough. That was intentional.
Yeah, so in that first phase,
First try the final
yeah,
boss.
that is true. So probably the scariest attack right there to see is the spinning discs of doom, the Beyblades. It just has a really quick startup, and it's a pretty tough to hear audio cue as well.
Oh, I think you got it. I did not do damage anymore.
Yeah, you're right. No, you're totally right. That's good call.
Oh, okay, yeah. That was a crazy phase 1. Yeah, you kept, you didn't even realize you were just blasting away because that was a crazy phase 1. Super cool.
All right.
And you got good health going into phase 2 also.
Okay, the double?
The double. You love a leaf bug wood cannon. That's crazy.
Yeah, the damage boost on that is nuts.
Good. It is a very difficult charge to avoid right there, and he gave us a good attack, which is very nice of him. A little dicey, but we're gonna get the heal, hopefully. Okay.
One thing to note about the heal is that you have to kind of look for it, but you don't get healed as soon as it hits Myzand, or the enemy that you're shooting the spell at. You don't get the heal until the green orbs that the spell produces actually come back to you. So next time Jaxter uses a spell, just keep an eye out for the green orbs that spawned, and then you can see them come back. So there are definitely times where you use a spell, you think you're safe, you're gonna get healed, but you take one more piece of damage before the healing manages to get to you.
I think he might be going in the final phase. No? Okay. So this is a good attack. Oh!
Oh!
Unlucky.
No.
I misread the situation. That's fine. You kind of expect to take a death there. That's okay. I almost got him.
Yeah, my idea too is, I mean, again, Jaxter.
Those bombs in phase 2 are basic, like, they're kind of hard to deal with. But that's okay. We're doing totally fine in terms of estimates, so I'm not at all worried. We're still, like, going with, like, potentially, like, a 105.
Yeah, you are doing great. You've been, aside from, like, the couple of stumbling blocks with a couple of bosses, you've been smashing this run. And even with those stumbling blocks,
yeah, we were probably on
everything
up
look
until
way easier.
Up until Lazaro, honestly, which is kind of wild to think about.
We gotta check the VOD for sure and, like, compare some splits. Oh my god, I feel like I'm locked in with Jaxler. I'm trying to think
he's just like really quiet, just locked in.
We're all locked in together. Yeah, I mean, we keep saying it, but Jaxler's making all this look, very easy, and that's along with the fact that he's not using any upgraded guns, which make these fights
much more doable.
Easier compared to not using upgrades.
We did get a wood cannon, which is nice. Oh, there's just a chunk of the wall missing.
I do think it's always funny to see his weapon wheel right now because it's so empty.
Yeah. Okay, another double. We take those.
That's your leaf bug. I gotta get my leaf bug checked, Ben. Can I get some separate files?
Yeah. Can we check Jackson's
check the books?
Can we check Jackson's files for leaf bug odds? I think there's something wrong here.
Yeah.
Oh, I am way too aggressive here. Okay. This is the attack you really want to see if you don't want to die.
Yeah, just free mana with Magnet Bug. You're basically picking all of it up.
The really nice thing as well is if you die on a boss, it summons the Soul Frog where you died. Kind of like where your corpse is when you die in Hollow Knight. So you can kind of use that as well if you don't first try the boss and want to make things a bit safer.
You get that free one heal.
It's so crucial sometimes.
You used to drop coins on death, and that thing sat on a tower of coins, and
that's funny.
Brutal in release.
Yeah, the grinding would have been tough. Sure, grinding money back.
Right.
If you weren't able to get back to that point.
Yeah.
Oh, I think.
Oh, he was like in the floor.
I don't want to.
Well, that was weird.
I don't want to say that.
All right, now we're in the final phase. This is pretty much GG as long as I don't Omega beef it. Full clip of the machine gun ammo will kill one of these heads.
Oh, is it really just a full machine gun clip?
It is a full machine gun clip, yeah.
Okay, I do this fight way worse in that case.
Oh, do you go with the shotgun?
I just sprint in circles and put like one shotgun shot like per head and just keep running in a circle. This looks way faster and better.
And there we go. That's the end of the fight. So we're gonna get Myzan's key. All right, so this will probably be like a 107. So all right. All right, so time's not coming up quite yet. There's gonna be a cutscene that plays, and then it'll like immediately go straight into the credits, and that's when we'll call time. Oh, we survived.
Dude,
You made it.
Incredible, insane run. Yeah.
All right.
I mean, you had like 5 deaths and you're still coming in sub 1.
Yeah, so,
underestimated.
yeah, by a lot. So I'm really happy.
That pace, we gotta check that pace.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take the bids later.
we're gonna have to
And
check that.
time.
GG.
Let's go. Oh my goodness.
That was so impressive.
Woo!
I'll let you know what the
I think
timer looks like when I get the.
Well, I'll get the. We go by in-game time because,
wow.
of course, because Ben is awesome. We have an in-game timer up in the top right that's actually accurate, which is so sick.
Real time on mine was a 106.57, by the way.
Yeah.
If you were curious about your real time estimate.
Yeah,
106.46. That's really good.
Yo.
And a lot of those deaths were late into bosses.
Yeah. The death, they tend to cost you a bit more the later in. So, I mean, Amber, if you're cool to let me keep playing, I'll go ahead and hop right into a super secret late game boss.
You are the end of this show. So like and you went underestimate. I don't have to go to bed just yet. Richard doesn't have to go to bed just yet. Go for it.
All right. So this is the 100% save file. So all of the slots that you can unlock. And so just to give you an idea of the build that I'm running, some of this is personal preference. Mush Frog, obviously, for beans. I run Magnet Roach, Leaf Bug, Dragonfly for it's a 5% damage increase, and then Woodpecker is an increased rate of fire, which is really, really nice. So in order to actually go fight the boss, we're gonna have to backtrack just a tad. This is normally there's 3 bosses that are accessible at the moment after you beat the game. I know Ben's kind of been messing around with some more stuff, which I'm very excited to see. So we're gonna pick up that save right there. I would argue that this might be like the hardest boss in the game, point blank.
Double pants.
Oh, it's called Skirt, which is just funny. So this is normally where you fight Valor to get this flamethrower. And so the way you summon the boss is you light the candles, and then here they come.
Oh Lord.
Yeah. So I told you.
It's a breakdancing tree. Oh my god.
That was an insane dodge. You have so little time to react to that. Yeah, so...
And pretty much everything deals double damage from this guy.
Yeah, so even with Jaxler's, maxed out health bar, you see Balsam just absolutely shredding him. But, cool thing about this is we actually get to show off, Ben put, crazy work into making all these guns all, distinct with cool different upgrades. Like here we see the shotgun that is like automatic and has
now they're gonna split.
Slots in
Now
there.
they're gonna split.
And now we have Ball and Sam.
Oh, got me.
So
okay.
it's basically the same boss, but just 2 of them.
Yeah.
At once.
And they have individual attack patterns, so that's a big reason why. So the bow we actually ended up skipping, and I used the crossbow upgrade with the slowdown because it actually pierces the both of them, and it causes a slow effect, which is really helpful.
Yeah, the other 2 hidden bosses are all super sick, but Ball Spam, I think that this move specifically is like it's kind of the main draw. You're noticing for the wood cannon there with Skirt, he actually has to aim sort of like askew from the boss because it shoots off at an angle, but the good trade-off is you get 4 shots with 1 shell. But it is a little awkward to use.
And it's worth noting as well, the flamethrower does do a damage over time as well, so it's pretty good value if you can squeeze it in. Alright, so they're gonna go ahead and transform.
we mentioned the other secret synergies earlier. That's crazy. Using beans with the skirt. That's so sick. Some of the other secret synergies is there's cicadas in the game, and if you use that with fireball, it does like burn damage.
Oh god.
There's a turtle you can pick up, which is also a pretty cool bug to use in general, because it'll let you just block damage sometimes. But that usage is with a spell called Slam. Oh, nice!
That was a fast kill too. Holy crap!
That's a good ball. Yeah,
that
that's
was
a
quick.
good fight.
Oh my goodness.
That's like it's so hard. And I'm like maxed out on everything too. You know, I'm not like trying to play it up.
It shreds your
Kind of
health.
sounds like we have time for
Yeah.
mud now.
Like when you were off sync, you were like jumping into the laser rather than over it when they had split.
Oh
And I
yeah.
was just like, oh my god, there goes the health bar.
Yep. Like Ben kind of mentioned this earlier with one of the other bosses, where it's just like if you get hit by the shockwave, you kind of just get hit by them over and over and over, right? So
Yeah, it can go south pretty quickly. You go from like, oh, I got this, I'm doing good, to like 1 health stressing.
I don't know how much time there still is, but there are 2
there's a
other
couple
options
others if you
bosses
want to
that
see
are-
them. I can try to get there quickly enough, but if you want to wrap things up, I'm sure Richard would like to go to bed. But
We heard it from
Oh,
production.
dude.
You can do those two and go
let's
for it.
freaking
Then we'll wrap
go!
it up.
Oh my gosh! I'm okay.
Are you doing mud or board?
I'm gonna do mud first, because it is. Oh, there goes the spell cast. Okay. Yeah, it is a little. It's gonna be a little bit faster for me to go this way, I think.
You can also do while you're traveling. You can do some shout outs and stuff too.
Yeah, good idea. Well, I want to shout out Cave and also Ben for being on this virtual couch with me. This was so freaking fun. Like, oh my gosh. And you know, again, shouts to Ben for just making such a cool and awesome video game. I feel like that goes without saying, but like, you know, holy crap. Yeah, big shout outs to Cave as well, who has been like really like pushing. We have been kind of together, just really pushing this game and pushing each other. And it's been so like fun just having that kind of competition and just like really pushing ourselves to be the best versions of ourselves. And I don't know, it's been so much fun playing this game. I want to shout out everyone that's watching tonight. Also shout out to Frog and a Lily Pad. And here's Mud.
Everyone's getting stick plugged in chat right now.
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and show you. Hold on. Wait, he's not doing the thing.
Oh, does that have to be when you run into a web, I think?
Yeah, you need the web.
All right, I'll wait for him to get down onto the ground. He'll.
So that's Mud's whole thing is he'll jump on these walls and shoot webs out, and if you get stuck in a web, he'll run at you and then
stick bug you.
This fight's definitely tough because you have to navigate these webs all throughout the fight, and eventually Mud will start adding more and more webs, and they'll start going across the floor rather than coming from the ceiling.
Oh, you got me. Yep.
And again, double damage everything, which
I'm gonna be real. That is the second time I have ever attempted to fight that boss. Because somehow I first tried it when I played it casually. But I think I don't know. It's a long day. Who knows?
Excuse me. You want to do some shout outs while Jaxer fights Mud?
Well, yeah, shout out first to Jaxer and Cave. I don't know, being an indie dev and, you know, this being my first, you know, game to come out, it's just been a privilege to get to, I don't know, have people like dive into your game and enjoy it. And it's just been really fun to see them play. And, you know, them figure out things and send me videos of things that I'm like, wait, what? You can do that? Oh, geez. But yeah, and thanks to the, you know, everyone on the Discord and stuff, it's just been a lot of fun.
I guess I'll just run through mine really quick. You know, shout out Jaxer, sort of same reasons that he said for me. It's been a lot of fun having someone else to like play the game with and grind the time down with. You know, it makes it a lot more fun doing things like this. Having, you know, someone else that's there to like push you with it. Shout out Ben for not only making such a sick game, but then also helping us out with the auto splitter, the timer in the game, not patching stuff, within reason, like not patching limb skip, stuff like that.
I'm patching the bugs though. You're welcome.
Hello.
Oh no! Got him. Okay. I guess that's probably. Well, when did I last save? Okay, yeah, it's probably. Well, we can just quit and reload.
And then also shout out people that are in the Frogmonster Discord.
Yeah,
a bunch of them were in here. A lot of them don't speedrun, but they're still in here supporting because it's it's just a sick game.
Well, I mean, even someone who plays the game casually was the one who found that what almost ended up being an early ridge skip. So it's like
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun to talk to everyone, and there's someone in there that made a bunch of emotes today, so we now have new channel emotes. The bashful trench.
Trench is the guy who chops up. Basically, he chops up all the monsters into meals, which is just very funny. And so he'll pay you for every prize catch that you bring him. I'm trying to. So the last one is where we fought Long Beast. I'm just trying to remember what the fastest way to get in the. It's probably this way, right? Yeah. I'm so not used to coming back here because we skipped this. So.
Also, if you enjoy Jaxler stuff, Jaxler's doing not one but 2 runs at SGDQ, one of which is a race, and the other one is Stuart Little 2. I don't remember what game is it that's a race.
Chibi Robo. So we're doing Lockout Bingo,
yes.
Which is going to be so freaking sick.
Oh, it's Lockout
so
Bingo,
excited.
yes. Bingo is so sick.
I'm not gonna lie, I haven't fought this boss yet. I don't even know if I've watched gameplay of it. Is it it bounces the shockwaves off those things it spawns?
Yeah. Oh, he was ready. Holy crap.
This one gives me a hard time sometimes, I'm gonna be honest.
Are you gonna spoil future plans in here, Ben? Or where Tight lives?
I would.
I don't know anything.
Next week, something exciting might be added to the game.
You're already here. Make sure you get to your casual playthrough of Frogmonster before then.
Yeah, you'll have to get to end game. So.
Wow. Okay.
Wow. Okay, Jaxer's nuts.
He's just the best.
Actually absurd.
Oh my goodness. That boss is also really hard, but probably
You
just
made
I fought
that
it more
look so
recently.
easy.
Yeah, all of those things do dealable damage. So that's thank you for letting me have the extra time to show that off.
Yeah,
But
of
also,
course.
Again, thanks for having me on this show. I fell in love with this game, and also fell in love with the community behind this game. So I'm proud to be able to represent, and I hope that was a good showing. Thanks, everybody.
It is always a pleasure to have you on board, and shout outs to Cave and Ben on commentary. It's always a pleasure to have a developer, whether it's like a randomizer developer or an actual game developer on board for commentary. We don't get that very often around here, so the more the merrier. It's fantastic, and I will never forget Ceiling Fan the boss.
This game's just peak. It's just peak. What else can you say?
Oh, absolutely. And just a reminder to everyone that, because I did see some support coming through in chat. Your subs, your Prime Gaming subs, your gift subs, and your bits cheered here on GDQ's Twitch channel does help support the GDQ Hotfix. If you enjoy watching speedruns, consider subscribing to the channel. And GDQ's next all-women and femme speedrunning event, Flame Fatales, returns August 18th and the 25th. The schedule is now out. Use !FF in Twitch chat for more information, and let us know what you're looking forward to the most over on Twitter and other social medias. And lastly, our Juneteenth celebration is going to be kicking in tomorrow at 1 p.m. So definitely, yes, 1 p.m. I didn't say 1 a.m. Here we go. Yes. It's wow, that's 20 minutes away at 1 p.m. So definitely appreciate if you check that out as well. We have a lot of information for that. Use !Juneteenth in Twitch chat if you want to check out the schedule. Plan your weekend. It's going to be worth. And, of course, if you missed out on Going Places or Passion Project, stay tuned as we replay both shows coming up right after this break. Tune in this weekend, like I said, 1 p.m. Eastern. You cannot miss it. Saturday and Sunday for our yearly Juneteenth celebration. And shout outs to the Juneteenth speedrun community for our yearly events. But with that being said, thank you for being here tonight, and please look after yourselves and your loved ones. Drink some water, stretch your legs, eat a snack, take your medicine or vitamins if you need to, and remember that you're valid and deserve all the best. I'll be back with more Passion Project, not on the 5th, but in 3 weeks on the 12th of July. So after SGDQ on July 12th, we're going to have Alice Rujisu on Cassette Beast and Snowball SMB on Lena's Inception. It's going to be awesome. So come tune in at 10 p.m. on July 12th as well. But I'll see you all later. Enjoy your weekend. Have a great night. Bye.